Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy.
You are listening to Phantasm Podcast.
Hey, this is Trevor Sternad.
Ryan H. back from the Black Dahlia murder.
Tom Gabriel Warrior. Derek Green from Simple Tour.
Ross Dolan from Immolation.
We are Gorgasm.
Ismail from Crater.
This is Ernie C. of Body Count.
Terrence from Suffocation.
FANTASM Podcast.
Join your hosts Corey Gorechrist and Dr. Vincent West for exclusive interviews with the sickest bands in metal and more. Head over to cultopphantasm.com, the only gravesite for all things horror and death metal. No filler, all killer. Now please welcome our guest of honor.
Harley Flanagan of Cro-Mags. And you are listening to Dr. Vincent West and Corey Gorechrist on the Phantasm Podcast.
What the fuck is up, and welcome to Phantasm Podcast. I am Corey Gorechrist. With me,
Dr. Vincent West.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. Still quarantining, still doing the thing. Hopefully everyone's listening is safe, in a safe place. If you're not, thanks for listening anyway. We appreciate you lending us your ears in a time of great danger. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you totally called the spike and the numbers sitting there totally spiking.
Yeah, it's bad. So don't expect conference anytime soon. Yeah, doing it to the comfort of our own homes. Way depressing, but sometimes, doctor pops in, makes his visits, have a lot of fun. Got a very exciting episode for you guys. We got a very, very, very special guest. We got Harley from Cro-Mags. It's got In the Beginning coming out June 19th, so by the time this episode's up, you'll probably already be close to it coming out or be out already on A Rising Empire and Mission 2 Entertainment. So definitely check that out. Their last thing they did, they had Don't Give In. The EP was released in August on Victory Records of last year. So it's very exciting to have had him on, and the doctor, did an awesome interview for you guys, and very excited for you to hear at the end of this episode. So we appreciate that. A lot of big names on the screen here. We got a very special movie too that another year I think we might have done, but it's a movie from old 1998. Doctor, you called this one. What do we got?
We're going to be watching Urban Legend.
Welcome to Pendleton U, where the most popular class is Urban Legends.
Something you've heard about mixing pop rocks and soda?
Supposedly your stomach burst.
But this semester,
Voila, still alive.
the lessons are going too far.
Call 911!
From the producer of I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Someone's taking all these urban legends and making them reality.
Urban Legend.
Bloody Mary.
Rated R. Opens everywhere Friday.
I don't know why this kind of struck me as something that we should watch, but there's the Blu-ray of this came out last year.
Yep.
A lot around. Well, no, I think I think this thing came out in the fall of 2018. Actually, this Blu-ray.
And since we are doing on the Tubi app, if you guys want to stream along with us at home or on your cellular devices, mobile devices, whatever the fuck you jam around with on the go or at work, we got the Tubi app. It's free. It's on any streaming, any devices. You can download it. It's free. Just download it. We got this is probably most likely, since Scream Factory has their shit on here, Shout Factory, whatever. This looks like that print because it looks amazing. It looks absolutely incredible on here. So
there was a Blu-ray of this that came out in 2006 that Columbia TriStar put out, and I'm pretty sure it's the same print. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Either way, it looks great. So I think that's what they're using. 1998. We'll get the old Chuckster later for Altering the Future, of course, but this is cool for me because this is a movie, obviously, I was alive when it was around, and I didn't just watch it late night, I rented it from Blockbuster, and loved it. I love this movie. Yeah, I had a Blockbuster night with Urban Legend. I was 8 years old in 98, so it popped this bitch in. I think I rented it a few times, so I loved it so much. It was really good. It's just a good, if you guys have never seen it before, or you're not into, late 90s slashers. Like, this one is just a straight-up slasher movie. It's just good. It's 90s stuff. It's got a lot of great actors in it. Robert Englund's in this, and Daniel Harris is in this, and Tara Reid is in this. Jared Leto's in this. I mean, it's got a great cast, and, it's even got...
I have a question for you.
What's that?
Just before we get any further into this, is there any scenes in this where you would have pulled down your faded Mets jammies and rubbed one out?
Yes, I'm pretty sure there is. A couple of them. Oh, yeah. If it's this is, I haven't seen this in so long, so I got kind of confused.
Ladies and gentlemen, the return of Mr. Skinless tonight. It's June, and he's back.
I might have this confused with another movie, but I'm pretty sure that this is the one I'm thinking of. Like, I feel like I'm confusing this with another movie because it's been so long. But I'm pretty sure there's a scene where there's this goth...
Is that fucking...
I'm pretty sure there's a scene with this goth chick getting nailed to, like, some Rob Zombie song, and then, she gets...
But is that not... That looks like our boy.
I can't tell who it is right now.
It looks like the voice of Chucky. It looks like...
Brad Dourif? I don't know. If it is, it's not a listed cameo. It is! Chucky's in the film, my friends. We got Charles Lee Ray himself. Brad Dourif. Good call there, sir.
Oh, that's him. It has to be.
Love him. It is. That's totally Brad Dourif right there. So you got Brad Dourif.
And my favorite line from any Brad Dourif thing. You ready just for you?
Let's do it. I know what it is already.
Coming up with your birthday gift last year.
Yep.
Hey, Frank, what do you want me to do with the beer? I want you to fuck it.
Want you to fuck it. Blue Velvet, love it. Shout out to Ernie C. at Body Count for really loving that movie enough to where him and Ice-T watched on their tour bus. I think that's still one of the coolest stories I ever heard. It's so awesome. So that was awesome.
Frank, what do you want me to do with the beer? You want me to pour it? No, I want you to fuck it.
No, this film already, just for the chock full of characters, it's kind of a low-key ensemble horror cast, even though they're all just kind of cameoed around. It's not like that Death House shit that they made. This is actually just... It's like an homage, but they just brought them all... It's, it's very subtle. Right, it's subtle. Like, they're just there, and you're like, oh shit. It's pretty cool. I dig it. Of course, it's directed by Jamie Blanks. He's an Australian film director. He also did another... early 2000s favorite of mine that I know the Doctor actually loves too is Valentine. He also directed that.
Nice.
Which I love that movie too. I think it's really good.
I think it's good. We'll have to do that one sometime.
Yeah, it's great. What else here? Let me pull up some specs on this film here. We'll go ahead and do a... Yeah, this is definitely the one I'm thinking of. There's totally some Mr. Skinless in here. Do a little synopsis for you guys who haven't seen it, or maybe just... whatever, you've seen it, but you want to hear what the fuck it's about again. I don't know. I need a refresher myself, because I remember the college stuff and all that, but it's been a long time since I've seen this. And we got a struggle here, and Brad Dourif is fucking pissed, so here we go. University is beset by a rash of gruesome murders that resemble old urban legends when their friend Michelle, played by Natasha Gregson Wagner, is killed by someone hiding in her car. Natalie begins to notice the pattern. Her suspicions grow stronger when her own roommate is strangled to death. Soon the quiet college campus is transformed into hunting grounds for a maniac, Dr. Vincent West. And Natalie struggles to find the killer and, and stop the bloodshed before she becomes the next victim. So yeah, it's cool. It's straight up. It almost fits like the Giallo mode, the old Italian stuff, 'cause it's like college. But it's got a lot of cool elements to it. It's very unique, and it doesn't take away, it's definitely its own thing. It's cool. And Brad Dourif right here.
Whatever he is, he's like, you want me to pull it, Frank? I want you to fuck it.
Now, this is the first urban legend kill here, spoiler alert, but Brad Dourif was actually just trying to get her to not go back to her car because there is a killer in the back seat, which is the total urban legend of, the little killer in the back seat tale with the hook and all that shit. So, this is about to go down here. He's actually just got a straight up fucking axe, which is nasty. And here we go, folks. Bam! Beautiful.
Real quick question for you, because I haven't seen this in a minute. Is there a killer reveal in this?
Yes.
Are there multiple people that were this killer, or...?
No, they didn't do the Scream treatment. This is actually,
So there's not a copycat killer in this film?
No, it's a straight up, somebody, but they don't know who it is, so they have to, Oh my god, that's awful. I didn't even know that. Silvio Horta is the guy that did the screenplay for this, who came up with the show Ugly Betty. I'm trying to see what else he wrote. But what I didn't know, or I forgot about it, I'll read it after this. Let's see what else he did first before I bring it down. He's from Miami, Florida, and he went to New York University, so there's that. Which is fucking badass. Let's see. Urban Legend was his first writing, so, and then he did Ugly Betty, which is a newer show. He committed suicide this year, which is very sad.
That's fucked up.
So the writer of this film, there's Tara Reid. I remember this now. Tara Reid is like, she's like a disc jockey basically for the college radio, which is pretty cool. She's got a big part in this film.
Can I just say something real quick about Tara Reid?
Go for it. I love her in Van Wilder.
Let me just say something about her in this. Not so much about Van Wilder, but this movie I remember, I wanted to French kiss her butthole.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Let's see, I'm trying to see where this was filmed at. Let's get a filming location. It was filmed in Ontario, Canada.
Interesting.
Humber College is the college. Came out September 25th, 1998.
I got Jack Doctor in this film when I saw it. I don't remember a lot else.
You got the old theater whack.
I really did. I got the fucking and the jizz the seat and floor.
You like picked that up. The music was by fuck you, Christopher Young, who also composed the music for Sinister, which I do love the score to that movie. It's fantastic.
Here's the thing. Let me say something real quick about Sinister. I like the second one. I don't like the first one. Is that weird?
No, I get that. The second one had a lot better vibe to it than the first one did. He did the new Pet Sematary.
I don't know. That first one didn't do it for me.
Yeah, he did the new Pet Sematary, Swordfist, Drag Me to Hell, all those. He did the two Spider-Mans. What is it? What the fuck's his name? Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. He did 2 and 3. Did the score for those, and did Hellraiser Evolutions, which is probably garbage. Deliver Us from Evil. Trying to see any notable ones he did after that. He also did Kablam. He did music on there, which is neat. A Nickelodeon show that I love. See, the guy on the screen right there, I believe, is Michael Rosenbaum, who was Martin X in Guardians 2. He was Lex Luthor in Smallville.
God damn, that is Lex Luthor. Holy shit.
Sure is.
I really like him.
Yeah, he's cool.
He gets a fucking bad rap as an actor. His Lex Luthor, I'm going to be completely honest with you, outside of Gene Hackman, he's my favorite.
Yeah, oh yeah. And he does the voice of the Flash in Justice League Doom, which is badass.
That's my favorite fucking DC animated movie.
Yep, he's the Flash in the other ones too, the Justice League Unlimited. He was Kid Flash in the old Teen Titans. So yeah, yeah, he's been the Flash on everything. If it's 2000s, he's done it. Also Trapper and Static Shock. I used to love that show.
That was a good show.
Yeah, it was pretty good. But yeah, that's all his notables, so that's who you saw there.
Now who's this redhead? Because I'd like to French kiss her butthole too.
That is Alicia Witt. And she was in 88 Minutes, that Al Pacino film. She was Aaliyah in David Lynch's Dune. What else was she in? I think she did that Exorcist TV show.
She was in the original Dune?
Yep.
The 80s one?
Yeah, from 84. But she was also... Not at all. She's gorgeous. So, Rebecca Gayheart. Oh my god.
Dr. Rest is coming clean tonight on this podcast. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Dr. Rest This is not a joke. This is not a parody or a gimmick or a gag. I love the redheads, ladies and gentlemen.
Redheads are fun, man. They're fun. Not to sexualize people, but we are horror fans here, so it's kind of the game. But, you know.
No, I'm saying I love redheaded women. I think they're beautiful. Please sit on my face. That's all I'm saying.
Redheads are great. You know, everyone I've dated or been with has been very wild and fun. And
wait a minute. Is that Pacey from Dawson's Creek?
Yep, sure is.
Amazing.
That is, what the fuck's his name? Joshua Jackson.
But dude, the cast for this movie is legit.
It is. Everyone you see. Yeah, that's Pacey from Dawson's Creek. He was Charlie in D2 The Mighty Ducks. What else was he in? Fringe. I thought he was in... He's in Cursed. Also, Alicia Witt is too, I believe, was in Cursed. That movie with Christina Ricci. Which I think was a Wes Craven thing. A lot of these people came from Wes Craven stuff, too, which is interesting. And that dude is in, he's in a ton of stuff, that janitor guy. But I'm pretty sure, nah, maybe not. Oh yeah, there you go, there's one. You get the goth fruit. I guess you don't really see much skin there for me to mention it, but you see the goth.
I think I'd fuck her roommate too.
Well, they're very hot girls on this film. This college film too.
All I'm saying is the redhead though would get the tongue lashing of her anus that she's never tasted, and that pussy would just get filled with Dr. Cock.
Dr. Cock.
That's all I'm saying.
So yeah, the Julian Richings.
Me some fucking sweaty redheads. Oh my god, I do. I have it. I can't help it.
Julian Richings is the quote-unquote weird janitor, and he's been in a ton of stuff. He's a very notable guy, and most people are like, I know him, but I don't know him. Like, you know, he's in that Doom Patrol show.
That's like Freddy Krueger right there.
That sure is Freddy Krueger. He's the professor. That is Robert Englund.
Dr. Fred Krueger.
Yeah, that's right. He's such a badass. But let's do some trivia for Urban Legend here. So Sarah Michelle Gellar accepted the role of Sasha, but had to back out due to schedule conflicts of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That's depressing, because that would have kicked ass.
It would have kicked ass. The killer's outfit is based on the fact that the film was originally planned to be set in the middle of winter. When the weather was too warm, it was decided to drop the winter aspects of the storyline, rather than fake snow in all the outdoor scenes and dress all the extras in winter outfits, but they kept the killer's costume. Which I think is rad. It looks fucking cool as shit. When Paul and Natalie walk into the hidden room in Professor Wexler's office, a puppet of Freddy Krueger can be seen just before they see the axe. Robert Englund, who played Professor William Wexler, played Freddy Krueger, obviously. The SUV driven in the...
Dr. Fred Krueger.
Dr. Frederick Krueger. Frederick Krueger. The SUV driven in the beginning was originally supposed to be a Land Rover. It was changed to a Ford Expedition, the largest 4x4 available at the time, because the filmmakers discovered they couldn't swing an axe inside of a Land Rover. So that's interesting.
Hold on real quick, I gotta say something else. It's like the Mets hat that Porno Protron kept pointing out when we did a Godless Stevens episode.
Yeah.
I gotta go back to the redhead real quick. Okay, just the simple fact that she was the little girl in Doom.
Yeah.
That means I need her in some type of filthy lingerie garb going, I can't believe you scat in my floor.
You scat in my floor.
Good God. Sorry, continue. I can't. Dude, she's really attractive to me.
She is, and
I haven't seen this movie since it was new.
She hits all the notes, too, with the lipstick, too. It's just like, woo! Okay. Brenda is seen wearing a blue ribbon around her neck at the end of the film, as this minor reference to another urban legend about a girl whose head falls off. She removes the ribbon around her neck. That's pretty cool. I'll try to avoid spoilers here. If you guys have never seen this, you're tuning along, or whatever you're doing. Joshua Jackson cranks his car before he takes Natalie to that spot in the woods. When it cranks, the radio plays Paula Cole's I Don't Want to Wait from Dawson's Creek, which is amazing. So I'll have to actually do some audio when that scene comes on, just so we can have the full Dawson's Creek experience.
I watched Dawson's Creek. I will admit, I even got Wheelchair Fucker to watch the whole thing.
I've watched
and
it.
The son of a bitch Now, hold on a second. Wheelchair Fucker literally religiously watched the shit out of that last year. He could not stop watching. I was like, dude, I told you.
It's one of my favorite shows of all time, for sure. In this scene right here, actually, this trivia pairs up with this right now. Rebecca Gayheart got sick after eating the Pop Rocks all day for the classroom scene, so she's about to do the Pop Rocks thing. She actually got sick from doing this. So I guess she was constantly eating it to take the shot or whatever. Filmed at the same university as Killer Party from 1986, another campus set slasher. Incidentally, both films feature a costume party at a fraternity, characters being targeted by a mass killer, and an urban legend about murder at an abandoned dormitory. So that's actually a really cool parallel there that was unintentional, but very nice. Cool. Jodie Lynn O'Keefe was originally offered the role of Sasha, but turned it down to take part in Halloween H2O 20 years later, 1998. So same year that came out. Danielle Harris was a smoker at the time and thrilled to be allowed to smoke while working. She quickly realized that shooting scenes while smoking meant that she was going to have to smoke cigarettes for hours all day while they shot. She eventually got sick of it and quit smoking. So this is the movie that made Danielle Harris quit smoking. Interesting. Oh, this is awesome. Have you done this before? Have you done the Pop Rocks and Pepsi challenge before?
No.
Remember around this time, mind you, I was 8. This was a big deal where everybody was doing it in school.
I remember it. So
I would always show up with the Pop Rocks just to do it, and then they'd be like, bitch, you won't drink Pepsi over it. So I'd be like, give me your Pepsi. And I'd just be like, ah. I think after seeing this movie, I did that one day. Not as dramatically, but I acted like I was dying from it and fucking spewing fucking Pepsi everywhere with the Pop Rocks. It was funny. Here's my favorite character in the film is Reese. I love her. And she's about to pop up on here. Let's see. Okay, the book sitting on the desk and William Wexler's desk, or Professor Frederick Krueger's desk, is A Vanishing Hitchhiker, which is one of the seminal texts on urban legends. Melissa Joan Hart turned down the role of Natalie Simon. Reese Witherspoon turned down the role of Natalie Simon. So they were trying to get, mind you, 98, those are big names there. But there's Jared Leto, his first appearance.
I want to say something about Jared Leto real quick. I like him. He is the worst Joker I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I try to actually forget about it, to be honest with you. But if somebody's like, oh,
his Eminem Joker.
Yeah, that's bad. So I'm like, oh, what Jared Leto movies? Like, I never mentioned that. I love that movie, but not him in it. But I do like, I like him in Girl Interrupted and shit like that. He's great.
No, he's a good actor. I'm not saying that.
Right, just the Jokers. I think he could have been a good Joker if they made him a different Joker too, but they just stuck him with that one. It was weird. But let's see.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think, just real quick, we're going to have a super comic nerd out thing here for about 5 seconds, if you don't mind. Do you think he's Jason Todd? Because I do.
Do what?
Do you think he's Jason Todd in Suicide Squad?
Maybe.
Because there was the Robin that went batshit and became Joker. Remember?
Yeah.
I was just curious if you thought he might be Jason Todd. I was just curious if you thought that.
Wasn't he the Red Hood?
Yeah.
Jason Todd.
But Jason Todd was also the or was it Tim Drake? No, was it Tim Drake? Tim Drake was Tim Drake the Robin that turned into the Joker?
It had to have been, yeah.
Whatever, you know what I meant.
Yeah.
Comic talk, ladies and gentlemen, and it ends now. Continue, my friend, I'm sorry.
Huh. Let's see, okay, Julian Richings, who was that janitor I was mentioning, he had
I got an ad break in 5 seconds.
Alright, fuck. Yeah, that's one thing about this free app, folks. There is ads, and we do have to work around them, so be patient. I'm just going to go ahead and pause it right now. I'm on 23 minutes and 4 seconds, so. While we're on the ad break here, Julian Richings, who played the weird janitor, he also had a reoccurring role as Death on Supernatural TV show from 2005, the first season of which was mostly based on urban legends, so there's another parallel to that. Pretty cool.
Supernatural was great, but it stayed on way too long.
Yeah, I agree. Daniel Harris and Tara Reid have been roommates in real life before they shot the film, so that's really cool. The author of Encyclopedia... Let me know when you're unpaused here, or when I need to press play.
It is showing Tampa Bay Furniture Store right now.
The author of Encyclopedia of Urban Legends is Charles Breen. The doctor on Tasha's bottle of lithium is a Dr. Charles Breen. Charles William Breen is a production designer. Weird.
No Dr. Vincent West? That's a ripoff.
I know, right? Alright, let me know when you're fucking furniture.
It's still showing a furniture ad for Clearwater in Greater Tampa and Clearwater. So.
It's a local ad.
And I am... It's doing the sperm swirl. Sperm swirl, I'm back.
Sperm swirl. Alright, 23 minutes, 4 seconds. They're running to the shot of the university here. Got the goth chick. I remember all this stuff.
Okay, here's the thing. I want to say something real quick. The goth chick needs to stick her gothic tongue up my butthole.
That's Daniel Harris.
I know, I want it up my butthole.
And Daniel Harris is super sweet. If you've ever got a chance to meet her, she's absolutely wonderful.
Disrespectful if she ever hears this episode.
There it is.
Oh
the Dr. Breen right there that I just mentioned. Pretty cool.
But I'm just saying, my God, like, can we have babies together, please?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. This is one of the first films to feature the blue Pepsi cans, which were introduced to the U.S. in 1998.
Daniel Harris is a fucking scream queen from hell. She's hot as fucking suit. Tell me you would not let her fucking French kiss your butthole in this film.
I would let her do whatever she wanted, to be honest. Especially goth Daniel Harris, yes. Have my babies. But yeah, did you hear that? I thought... Have little gore cries. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Oh yeah, there we go. Did you hear that last thing? I thought it was pretty cool. So this is one of the first films to feature the blue Pepsi cans.
No shit.
They were introduced in 98. This is one of the first films to do it. Very revolutionary, folks. The last name of Natasha Gregson.
They still use that, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They're all blue now, but
crazy.
this is when they first did it. It makes me feel old now. The last name of Natasha Gregson Wagner's character is Mancini. Don Mancini is the name of the writer of all the Child's Play Chucky films and other actor that is featured in the beginning of the film, Brad Dourif. So there was that nod. If you look behind Natalie and Parker in the auditorium, you will see screenwriter Silvio Horta acting as a college student. So that's pretty cool. The film's fictional location is Melbourne, New Hampshire. Director Jamie Blank's home city is Melbourne, Australia. So that's pretty cool. And I love New Hampshire. I would retire there. At the end, when students are recounting the events, and one comments, yeah... I'm not going to read that, that's a spoiler. In addition to this film, The Skulls and Gossip, both starring Joshua Jackson, were also filmed at the University of Toronto.
Wait, The Skulls, and what was the other one?
Gossip.
Oh, shit. I haven't seen that in a minute.
And this is obvious. The film was inspired by the huge success of Scream, and whereas that film was a self-aware satire of horror tropes, this one was a self-aware satire on urban legends. The film's negative reception was a result of many critics finding them to have been an imitation of Scream. Which it does have a lot of elements of it. There's even the characters in it, kind of, but it's it's a lot more serious of a film. It's not as much of a satire at all.
This doesn't break a satire at all to me.
No. I mean, there's elements of it where they're kind of making... Alright, I'm going to turn on this here for a second.
I'd really rather not talk.
On with the sound here, because they're going to do the Dawson's Creek theme.
Okay, mine turned up.
Okay. Unless they did it while they were driving up, but I think
You did?
he's about to turn up some music.
I lost somebody close to me.
And I love his character in this, too. I think he's hilarious.
She's,
Well, let's see,
she's dead. And,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
the uncredited character played by Brad Dourif, gas station attendant Michael McDonald, who is suspected to be the murderer, was named after urban legend producer Michael McDonald.
After that, I was afraid to get close to anybody for a long time.
The film was shot over a course of 53 days.
Why am I being so selfish? So much love inside of me left to give.
Reese Wilson was a lesbian in an earlier draft of the script. Interesting. Professor William Wexler, which is Dr. Frederick Krueger, had bipolar disorder in an earlier draft of the script. Which would have been weird.
I suppose you're that man.
Brad Dourif, who played the stuttering gas station attendant at the beginning of the film, played the role of Billy Bibbit, who also had a speech impediment in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, 1975. Tosh was conceived as a much bitchier character in the early draft. Ooh.
I'm just trying to help you out. You don't have to act like such a bitch.
It's not an act.
Jeez. A news reporter announcing the beheading of Michelle Mancini on television is named David McAree. David McAree was the first assistant director of this movie.
I want to take piss.
I wanted to hear the Dawson's. Where's the 10?
I don't know. I think it might be over. They might have played it before they got to this scene. Oh, there it is, I think. Yeah, I think she's listening to it right now. It's very, like, quaint, though. Can't really hear it that well. I mean, he's taking a fucking whiz. I need to crank that damn music up. Well, he's dead now. Well, I'm positive I might say it. Well, he's just getting fucking hung out and dry now. Let's see. Alicia Witt and Loretta Devine, Loretta plays Reese, shares the same birthday, August 21st. Pretty close to the doctors.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Parker's line about spider eggs and bubblegum is partially dubbed. It was shot as Spider Eggs and Bubblicious and appears as such in the film's trailer. Behind-the-scenes feature on DVD and Blu-ray, presumably dubbed due to non-clearance of the brand name. Joshua Jackson used his salary from this movie to buy his mother a house. That was very nice.
Hey, I have a question for you.
What's up?
Do something a little different tonight. I've never done the 4 going on 5 years we've done this podcast. I have a question for you. This is very morbid, okay?
Okay.
Let's do a R.I.P. version on this film. Who's dead that we're watching in this film?
Like, who's actually not alive?
Besides the gentleman that committed suicide, which I'm not trying to make fun of that at all, but...
I mean, I think everybody's alive in this movie. That surprisingly, all the cast is still with us.
What do you think? Are you down to start doing this? We're going to start doing an R.I.P. on this podcast.
Yeah, we can, and we already got some corner. We might as well do that, too. We'll queue up the R.I.P., and we'll be like, who's dead? That's actually a good idea.
What do you think? It's pretty dope. You like
Make it another segment, yeah.
The creative juices are flowing, kid.
Oh, and poor old...
Man, that's fucking brutal. God damn.
Jesus. Yeah, she just hung
so
his ass.
she technically just killed him.
Yep. There's the killer right there. He's a fucking big mother, too. Shit. Get your fucking car out of there. Oh, this is morbid, too. Here comes Joshua Jackson.
I don't want to wait.
For our lives to be over. Yeah, it's bad. Brad Dourif, who played the gas station attendant, was considered for the part of Joker in Batman from 1989, which would have been insane. And Jared Leto, of course. And of course, Jared Leto played the Joker in Suicide Squad in 2016. I love Jack Nicholson, but I would have loved to have seen Brad Dourif as the Joker. That would have been fucking incredible. Especially if you guys have watched or listened to one of our super earlier episodes of Exorcist 3 or haven't seen that film. He's amazing in it. Can definitely play that role. The bloody writing on the wall, "Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the light," was used in the episode Hookman during the first season of Supernatural. which was heavily referencing urban legends at first. Several actors in this film have guest starred in the series as well. So there's little nods to Supernatural, or to this film from Supernatural, or just the the urban legends in general, but still pretty cool. According to the license plate on the front of Dean's car, the Dean lives in Maine. So maybe that's a very small nod to Stephen King. We're not sure. Not wanting to be a typecast as a scream queen, Jennifer Love Hewitt turned down the role of Natalie Simon. She was offered the role because of her work in I Know What You Did Last Summer, another great 90s slasher film.
That was good.
Urban legends which are referenced include reference the caller to Sasha's radio show states that she replaced her roommate's birth control pills with baby aspirin. A caller to Sasha's radio show asks about having her stomach pumped after performing oral sex and ingesting semen. That's death metal. A couple suffering from penis captivus call in to Sasha's radio show. Professor Wexler discusses the babysitter and the man upstairs legend during his lecture. And Brenda claims that it happened in her hometown. Parker suggests placing spider eggs and bubble yum as the killer's next move.
I need to say something real quick.
Okay.
Tara Reid takes those itchy, sweaty leather pants off and let me French kiss that butthole.
They even got the cars. Sometimes I really love IMDb because they're facts. Because this one has the fucking cars they drive in this. So this is interesting for all you car enthusiasts that love death metal, love horror movies. Maybe you just like death metal, you like power metal. I don't care. Check this out. This is cool. The janitor drives a 1982 Ford F-150. Damon's car is a 1984 Oldsmobile 98 Regency. Reese drives a 1992 Ford Crown Vic. Obviously, it's a cop car. The Dean's car was a 1981 Mercedes-Benz S-Class W126. Natalie's car in a flashback was a 1988 Saab 9000 CD. Paul drives a 1987 Jeep Grand Wagoneer SJ. Michelle drives a 1997 Ford Expedition XLT Gen 1 UN 93. She got axed already. And David's, Brenda's late fiancé, car during a flashback was 1987 Chevrolet Corsica. Pretty cool. I actually have never seen that before. It's pretty awesome. Love it. So yeah, that wraps that up. All the facts about it. Actually, surprisingly, a lot of facts about this film on there. So it's very, very interesting. Love it. And then, see, this movie has a good pace too. It picks up pretty quick.
God, Daniel Harris, have sex with me. Feed me those titties.
Well, let's.
Feed me those tits.
I'm not going to give you the tits right now, but we can feed you the chuck. It's a cool-looking university, too, so.
You know what's interesting about this movie that I want to say, and I probably should say this for final thoughts, but this movie, to be as open as it is, it's very claustrophobic the way it's shot.
It is. It really is, yeah. And I like that kind of stuff, even though I'm claustrophobic myself.
It makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uneasy watching this. It's very claustrophobic the way that it was shot.
Oh, yeah. It's brilliant. So let's cue up Chuck, and we'll get into Altering the Future.
Altering the Future!
So we got 1998. We'll take you back to that time and what other movies were out, and we'll do music. Doctor always covers that. Usually I try to do that stuff last, the horror movies all. Some of my favorite movies came out around this year, and I was very perceptive about films at this time because I was 8 years old. So there's a lot of movies that I really love from this era. Let's see what we got here. There's a lot of movies. Let's see. Godzilla, that Godzilla movie that came out, that was a fucking turd. I saw that in theaters. Patrick.
I can honestly say I've never seen that. The Matthew Broderick thing?
Yes, it's a turd.
Never seen it.
And the fact that they do it at Madison Square Garden, it pisses me off. Patch Adams, great movie. Dr. Dolittle with Eddie Murphy, movie's hilarious. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, it's Guy Ritchie, it's a great movie. Let's see. There's so much. God, Stepmom, I will never... That movie is just... I can't watch movies like that. I really can't. It's just... She's just dying of cancer. It's fucking awful. One of my favorite movies from around then is Three Ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain with fucking Hulk Hogan. I absolutely love that movie. It's fucking great. Prince of Egypt. It's an animated film. We got Gia. That's with Angelina Jolie. If you want to see some boobage from her, some Mr. Skinless, that's on there. You got Chairman of the Board with Carrot Top. I thought that movie was funny when I was little. A Bug's Life. It's probably my favorite Pixar movie besides Toy Story. I was obsessed with it. Had the jammies. I had the toys. It was Little Gore Christ's wet dream was that film. Lethal Weapon 4. Another Wubby. Scooby-Doo Zombie Island. Love that movie. Babe Pig in the City. That movie is fucking weird as fuck. Even when I was a kid, it made me uncomfortable.
George Miller that did Mad Max.
Yeah. It's fucking weird as fuck. But that's all I'm going to say about it. It's worth watching just so you can be like, this movie is so goddamn weird. E.G. Daily voices the pig who did like, Tommy Pickles from Rugrats and shit like that. So she's in that.
That's Monster Magnet.
It's just weird. I got a fucking ad. God damn it. You didn't pay attention. I'm on 4 screens at once here, folks. I'm trying to... So I got an ad, so pause it wherever you're at. It's stupid. Yeah, please. Stupid ad bullshit. Well, I'll continue. Ants, another animated movie. Very weird movie, honestly. Like, it came out, same year as A Bug's Life. Had Woody Allen and Sharon Stone in it. It's just a weird movie. Very good, but weird. One of my favorite animated Batman films is Batman Sub-Zero. It's a fucking awesome movie.
It is good.
Let's see what else. Yeesh. Is that what I think it is? You got that Major League sequel of Scott Bakula. I vaguely remember seeing that movie. It still had Corbin Burnson in it, but he was the owner.
Good, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I've actually never seen that.
It's good. Back to the Miners?
Let's see. Yeah, Back to the Miners.
It's good.
Very Bad Things. That movie is nuts, and it horrified me when I was little. It's a comedy movie, but when you're 8 years old, you see a movie like that. It's fucking.
Dude, that movie is fucked up.
It's a train wreck, but that movie made me love Christian Slater. Besides seeing True Romance around the same time, that movie made me love Christian Slater. But Jon Favreau's in it. Cameron Diaz, Daniel Stern is in it, who I love. It's just it's an insane fucking movie.
It's too much to watch.
It is.
I watched that movie really stoned one time and it freaked me out.
Jesus Christ, I couldn't do that.
It's too much.
Let's see. There's some. Well, we'll just go through some Disney shit here. We got The Parent Trap, which I loved. Halloween Town, which I still, even at like about 30. It's still on a fucking ad. It's wanting me to buy Toyota.
Well, hold on a second.
I've had the El Double ad treatment here, so I'm. What part are you on right now?
I'm at 1:39:44, 38 minutes 19 seconds.
Okay, I'm almost there.
Danielle Harris was talking about hooking up with guys.
Yeah, she's basically on whatever. This is like Vampire Freaks right here. Okay, and unpause it.
Looks like we're looking at a library card, and it's a hot redhead.
My type of guy. Okay, back to the Halloween Town, 1998. Disney movie. It was like a Disney original movie. I loved it.
That's Monster Magnet, by the way, just FYI.
What?
That's Monster Magnet playing in the background with Daniel Harris.
Oh, I don't have it. I have it muted again, so I can't hear anything. Yeah, Halloween Town. I still watch it even at 30 years old. It's one of my favorite movies. Period. It's got Judith Hogue in it. The Debbie Reynolds, which is Carrie Fisher's mom, is in that, so it's awesome. It's just a great movie.
Are we watching Danielle Harris in the bathroom or not?
Yep, she just walked in on my screen, so she's trying to find.
But the music I'm saying that was playing was Monster Magnet.
Right, I didn't know what you were saying because I was like Halloween Town. You were like Monster Magnet. I was like, what? Monster Magnet. I was like, I don't know what. Okay, I like Monster Magnet. I like Mr. Windorf. He's a cool motherfucker. If you're listening to this, I would like you to be on this podcast too. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's see. Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. Oh, here we go. I think in this one, it's actually Rob Zombie starts playing, if I remember this correctly. It's a little spook show, baby. Because I remember hearing it. This was like a distinct thing I remembered about this film was that song playing. Because they kind of make it like she's just having her typical sex bullshit. But maybe not. I don't know. I don't hear it right now. Taking a pause for a second, folks. I'm trying to hear this thing. Maybe it was in the scene.
There's no music going here.
Yeah, she's just getting choked. I guess that was in the first time they were fucking. They had that music on because I remember that's in this film. Anyway, Lion King 2: Simba's Pride. Go from goth sex back to movies I saw when I was 8. It's weird. Air Bud, Golden Receiver. That's what Dr. West likes to call his, when he gets after he kisses the butthole, he gives him the Golden Receiver. With their air butt. Mulan.
Air butt is like their bed, their butthole.
Yeah, air butt. Mulan. Mighty Joe Young. Couldn't deal with it. Let's see. There's Meet Joe Black. Couldn't deal with it, but I did like seeing Brad Pitt get hit by 3 cars. I don't know why, because I like him, but seeing him get fucking juggled around 3 cars like a fucking basketball, it's still to this day I laugh my fucking dick off when I see that. I mean, he just gets fucking juggled in New York traffic. It's hilarious. City of Angels. I think that's Meg Ryan, isn't it? Yeah, Meg Ryan, Nicolas Cage. Let's see. Secrets of Nim 2. You got a bunch of weird sequels. You got Mothra, the Rebirth of Mothra 3. I'll take that all day long. Small Soldiers, which I love that movie. That's actually a very morbid film for the fact that it was a kid's film, technically, but it's PG-13. Joe Dante directed it, which is fucking badass. Tommy Lee Jones was in it. It's a great movie. Loved it, and it's very morbid at the same time. Dark City, awesome fucking movie. I think Wheelchair Fucker really likes that movie as much as I do too. Pretty sure he does. It's just a fucking weird ass movie. Very visual, very
I saw it at the theater.
almost like Matrix kind of shit, but it's also like very. I don't know how to describe that movie. It's weird. Kiefer Sutherland's in it. William Hurt, Jennifer Connelly. I remember that. The score for it, it's like industrial shit. It's a very strange movie. It's very hard to describe, but it's cool. Sphere. I remember that movie, Dustin Hoffman. What else? We got Soldier with Kurt Russell.
Is that old dude right there the one from the Underworld movies?
No. I think you're talking about Bill Nye? The guy that plays Victor or whatever? That's not him. I forget who that guy is, though. He looks familiar.
Bill Nye the Science Guy?
No, there's another Bill Nye. He's the guy that plays Victor. And he's also...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I always thought that, too. I was like, Bill Nye? Wait. But it's spelled like N-I-G-H.
I gotcha. He looks like the guy from the fucking Underworld.
No, he does. You got the X-Files movie. Let's fight, Lost in Space.
Oh, I got Jack Proctor in that movie, too.
Nice. Deep Impact. Got Armageddon.
Never seen that movie. I've seen Armageddon. I've never seen Deep Impact.
Okay, Star Trek Insurrection.
Dude, hold on, right there. Love that movie.
It's good.
It's criminally underrated, and I'm sorry to tell Star Trek Next Generation fans, but that movie's really good.
I love it. The Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars. Let's see.
Never seen it.
I love those movies. Phantoms, Ben Affleck. It's a great movie. The Faculty.
Believe it or not, I have never seen that.
It's good. The Faculty. It's another good one.
That I've seen.
It's cool. I like it. I think Screen Factory put that out, actually.
Is Disturbing Behavior in 98?
I think so. I haven't seen it yet. Let me see. Yes, it is. The one with James Marsden.
That is a fucking great movie.
Or Marsden. It got Nick Stahl in it, too. Hell yeah. Katie
Good
Holmes. Okay, this movie, and this is gonna get a little personal, but in a funny way. We have Species 2. I've probably glazed more of my wiener to that than I have anything when I was little. I think it's when I started really masturbating and figuring that shit out. Species 2 was one of the first ones, so that was cool. I think that's what it's made for.
You thought of yourself as little alien with your little blonde bowl cut, impregnating chicks with your alien goo.
Yeah, that's totally what I was doing. I'm telling you, that movie, Jesus Christ.
Okay, I need you to pause right now.
Okay. We got another So yeah, Species 2, I spilled my seed to it way too much when I was younger. It was like, I can do this. Let's see what else. We got Blade with Wesley Snipes. I fucking love that movie. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Saving Private Ryan, which is one of the only war movies I really like. One of my favorite horror sequels, believe it or not, Bride of Chucky. Came out in 98. That movie's fucking awesome. Got The Big Lebowski, which I absolutely love that movie. And if we were in the film, I would have... Okay. I would be the dude, and then the doctor would be what's his name? Walter. You're definitely Walter. Dr. West. And I'd be the dude. Rush Hour.
You know, if you brought the dog, it's just like, if you brought the dog bowling, it's just like, I'm not going to buy shoes, I'm not buying a fucking beer.
SLC Punk. SLC Punk, which I absolutely love that film.
I'm not renting it shoes, I'm not buying it a fucking beer.
The Mask of Zorro, I think that's the Antonio Banderas.
Finish that joke. Wheelchair Tucker is Donnie.
Yes. I'm telling you, that's us in that movie. If you watch it as the big the big Gorbowski, then that's it. Like, this is what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass. And it's Dr. West fucking destroying somebody's fucking sports car. It's fucking funny. Yeah, The Mask of Zorro, that was Antonio Banderas.
The entire scene that is you and me in that movie is I'm sorry to keep interrupting, but it's fucking funny. He's like, calmer than you are. Moving the fucking gun around?
Yeah, we're down bowling alley.
We've had conversations like that.
Yeah, we really have. It's just funny. We're in a bowling league. Let's see, The Thin Red Line, that was Sean Penn, Adrian Brody, dude that played Jesus in Passion of the Christ. Jim Caviezel. I think, George Clooney, John Cusack, Woody Harrelson, who's really old and needs to stop playing younger characters. John C. Reilly, Nick Nolte. That's a really good war movie, too. Blues Brothers 2000.
I've never seen it.
It's good, I like it. And Saving Private Ryan's good. Like, 98 had some really good movies. Blues Brothers 2000, which was Dan Aykroyd and, Speak of the Devil, John Goodman.
Never seen it.
It's funny as fuck. The Water Boy, one of my favorite Adam Sandler's. It's fucking hysterical, dude. All his early stuff, like up until
I have never seen that movie.
Up until Waterboy and then like Little Nicky, those are all his best movies. I'll give Big Daddy a lot of credit 'cause it's pretty goddamn funny too, but it's not as funny as like some of those. There's Something About Mary. Hilarious movie. Ben Stiller, Matt Dillon, Cameron Diaz. Also had oh shit, I'm drawing a blank right now. Why can't I think of it? Jesus Christ. Whatever.
Is that your favorite Farrelly Brothers movie?
I don't think it's my favorite. It's close. It's pretty fucking great. I like it.
Can you name my favorite?
We just talked about this too.
Hall Pass, done.
Yeah, Hall Pass. I'd say mine's probably Kingpin.
Kingpin's pretty good.
I just watched one the other day that came up on HBO. I think actually it's on Amazon. It's on Stars. It was Osmosis Jones that they did. And that movie's fucking awesome.
I haven't seen that movie.
It's great. I didn't know that they did the film until I watched it. I was like, oh shit, okay. Yeah, now my thing is reset. Hang on. Where the fuck you at? My little movie thing up here. Okay. Back to this shit. Got the Truman Show. Very weird. If you like Jim Carrey, it's cool, but it's weird. The Decline of the Western Civilization Part 3 came out in 98.
Awful.
Yeah, it is awful. Enemy of the State, which is Will Smith, Gene Hackman. Never been crazy about it, but it is good. It is good. I've never been crazy about it, but it's a good movie.
I love Gene Hackman.
Yeah, he's great. Paulie, which was that fucking movie about the parrot. It's really good, actually.
Never seen it.
It's funny as shit.
Never seen it.
Let's see. You got the remake of Psycho with Vince Vaughn.
You know what? I would actually defend that movie. I like it.
It's good. I saw it in theaters. Let's see. Snake Eyes with Nicolas Cage. Another movie I saw in theaters, Pokemon, the first movie. I cried my little eyes out. If that takes me down a peg in the metal world, I don't fucking care, I'm being honest. That movie's fucking sad at the end.
No, man, you grew up with that shit.
Sad at the end. I got my little gold Pokemon, it's like seriously like a gold thing. Like a little collectible card thing, but it was like a gold, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it was cool. And it had, you get the Ancient Mew card. I got that stolen along with my Sony Walkman out of my locker one day, and I was so pissed off. One of my favorite comedies ever, and I can quote it all the way, is Night at the Roxbury. I love that fucking movie.
It's amazing.
That's also You and Me at the fucking club, too. It's funny.
Sweet-ass dwelling, Mr. Gorkrine.
It's like the outside is the inside, but the inside is the outside. Doesn't that blow your mind? Anyway. Another good one.
It's alright if you did.
I understand.
You're climbing up the wrong tree.
I love how Jim Carrey was in the original skit of that film. Oh, I got an ad in 5 seconds, motherfucker. Okay. 2, 1, pause it. We gotta let Gorecross know that Olive Garden is here for you. We will
What were you saying about Jim Carrey?
We will hand deliver our Olive Garden, our processed fake Italian food, to your door because we care that you're social distancing. Even though
Is that the one with the Latino thing where they're like, God, thank God Olive Garden delivered?
No, this is like a straight up fucking white family where they're just like, thank God we're Irish. We can have our Italian food, our fake Italian food delivered here. All right, unpause. Now that's Fazoli's, man. That place is fucking. I would rather have Chef Boyardee than fucking that. It's the fucking value time. It's the value time meat. It's like they can't even call it SpaghettiOs. It's called like a value time meaty O's. No, wait. It's Food Lion. It's wait. I just it's Food Lion spaghetti rings.
Hold on, I've got my favorite. I've got to tell you something real quick. Here it is. I literally saw this recently. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So there's like the Chef Boyardee, and I told wheelchair fucker, I'm like, I just can't eat that stuff anymore. I did as a kid. And you got like the Star Wars Chef Boyardee ones, and the Food Club ones. The Food Club one is Food Club Star Soldiers. It's like, God, could you imagine the poor son of a bitch kid that's taking Star Soldiers to school?
Or it's like you got the SpongeBob SquarePants ones, and this one's Fishy Bottoms. It's like, you brought the Fishy Bottoms, what a nerd.
If you're a parent and you have to send your kids to school with that, Dr. Vincent West will personally donate his own food stamps to get you non-food club Star Soldiers for your fucking poor kid.
Yeah, you should have SpaghettiOs in that lunchbox, you know. You don't need to be having the food club.
Fucking Chef R&D, you gotta have the you shouldn't be having Value Time Star Soldiers. God damn. I mean, it was awful when I saw it. I was like, good God.
Oh, damn. Well, she's had a false alarm here where Rebecca Gayheart thought she was going to get fucking clubbed right here, but now it's overreacting. But yeah, instead of the Avengers, it's like it's like Alliance O's.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's like for real. Like, it's like, you know, Chef R&D has, you know, X-Men fucking ravioli for kids, and the fucking...
This one's alien people. Or power people. So stupid.
Dude, I'm telling you, it seriously was, it actually made me sad seeing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like...
Well, imagine the poor fucker that has to carry that shit around. Like, they pull it out and they're like, Star Soldiers.
You got the fucking Chef R&D Transformers, or you got the fucking Value Time Wild Robots. It's just humiliating. I mean, seriously, I feel sorry for the parent that has to buy it and then gives that to their kid to make him fucking lug it around. Hey, look, Jimmy's eating power robots from Value Time.
It's like this kid busts out the G.I. Joe fucking...
No. It would be more clever than that. It's like Value Time presents Robot Changers. God damn.
Oh, God.
Ask Ross next time we have him on if he had the Transformers Chef R&D as a kid, or did he have the
power robot
machine changers Value Time?
Or it's like the kid pulls out the G.I. Joe raviolis and then you pull out the Value Time Army Men. Army Rangers.
Army men tough guys.
Yeah, Army tough dudes. Let's see. All right, we'll go off track here. We're still on 1998 movies, Altering the Future. Got The Wedding Singer by Adam Sandler. It's a fantastic movie.
That's a good movie.
That's actually, that's about as the Doctor as it gets for an Adam Sandler film. It's fucking funny. What else do we got? Let's see. We'll go to horror right now. Now I want to say one of I did mention Blade earlier, but Blade is fucking amazing, and it broke ground because it was rated R. It's a Marvel movie. Still gets no credit, even though it's a fantastic film. We've said Bride of Chucky, which I love.
Everybody hates that.
I love it. I like the Triple H's in it. I think that chick that's got that dog pussy is hot as fuck.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is awesome. Old Hannibal King. I love that movie. It's great. Let's see. The original Ring came out in '98. The Japanese one. It's just called Ring.
Interesting.
What else? Halloween H2O. I still Know What You Did Last Summer. It's a sequel. It's equally as good, I think. Strangeland. It's got D. Snyder. It's cool. What else? We got Phantasm 4, Oblivion.
Love it.
Let's see. Oh, these aren't even horror films. Just the last one I'll mention on here. It's a film I really love. I need to buy it because I don't have it. A lot of people don't like it, or I don't know. I love it. I think it's a great movie. That is John Carpenter's Vampires. Love that film. I love it. It's one of my favorite James Woods movies. I just think it's cool. I like it a lot. I watched the shit out of it when I was younger too. So that is.
I want to say something about that movie real quick. That movie, you either love that movie or you don't like it.
Exactly. That's kind of what I ran into on that.
There's no middle ground on it. The guy that plays the main vampire in it, I love that guy.
I do too. Valak or whatever.
He was the villain in Karate Kid 3.
Mm-hmm.
ponytail?
Yeah. Now, there's two more.
Like mocking from the water. He's like, whoa!
Yeah. There's a few more films I do want to mention, because there's a lot more on here, but I'm just going to do these last three here. I've already done the horror, but this one's for the doctor right here. It's Black Dog, Patrick Swayze.
What a fucking awesome movie.
I love it. Absolutely love it. It's one of my mom's favorites that we watched all the time, so it was cool. We got Basketball, which is another one.
Love it.
And this one's for Wheelchair Fucker, who I love very much. And that's Dirty Work.
Yeah.
One of my favorite films. I know it's one of his too. One of the few people I know that have actually seen it that can quote it. So, love that film. It's Chris Farley's last movie. Bob Saget directed it. Norm Macdonald and Artie Lang. It's a perfect movie. It's just funny as fuck. Ooh, this guy just got ran over. God damn.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Whew. Got fucking spiked. Yeah, it's pretty rad.
Severe tire damage.
God. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, it's weird. This kind of looks like Dawson's Creek, too.
It does. It's very, very late 90s shit. I love it. I like how this little college party is pretty rad looking. Wow, the dog is chugging alcohol. That's a new one. They got a dog with a fucking beer bong. Jesus Christ. The dude dressed up as Zombie Santa, that's a new one. Pretty cool. Just got these goth dudes doing the DJ bullshit. What music they got on here? Let's hear it.
That screams? That's an actual...
They got that's Roller Coaster of Love. Cool. Gotta love Tara Reid and that choker. Jesus Christ. Whew.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Whoa. I like the goth stuff in this too. This is like 8-year-old me. No wonder I turned out the way I did watching this kind of shit. And Bride of Chucky had a lot of that too, the elements of it. And very weird. But yeah, Doctor, 1998 music. This ought to be good. I will say, I know it came out 25 years ago today, actually, on this day of the recording. I'm trying to see. It's not 98 though, so that wouldn't even matter. But would have came out. I don't remember where I was going with that.
I'm not sure either.
It was 95. It was this on this day, 25 or whatever it is, anniversary of something. I gotta look it up now. Yeah, music. Go ahead. This wasn't even the year I was thinking. It was just like the day. Is what I was thinking.
You sure you don't want to go ahead and say what it was, or do you want me to keep going?
I'm trying to look it up if it even... Hang on. On our... motherfucker.
Okay, well, I'm going to start this if you need
Yeah,
to
just
pop in.
Just go ahead. It was kind of irrelevant to what we were even doing, because I thought... I was thinking, like, the year, but it's not.
Well, here we go. So, Legacy of Kings from Hammerfall, Something Wicked This Way from Iced Earth, Disco Destroyer from Tankard, Virtual 11 from Iron Maiden,
Nice.
Oceanborn from Nightwish,
Love it.
Zombie Apocalypse from Mortician,
Hell yeah.
First Breath from Mercenary. Mercenary is a Danish power metal band that no longer exists, but I loved.
Mm-hmm.
Fallen Temple from Septic Flesh.
God, Rebecca Gayheart in that dress. God damn. Woo!
What's that?
So Rebecca Gayheart in that dress. Jesus Christ. Sorry.
Yeah, it's nice. Obsolete from Fear Factory. Oddfellows Rest from Crowbar.
Okay, that's what I was saying. 25 years ago today, which is June 13th as we record this, Demanufacture came out 25 years ago.
Oh, cool.
There, we got Obsolete, love it. Oddfellows Rest is great. Crowbar.
Victims of the Fallen Cataclysm.
Great album.
Supreme Evil from Diabolic.
Hell yeah.
That band.
Love them.
High on Blood from Deranged. Deranged is a very brutal, awesome underground death metal band.
Yes, they are. China, they've been around that long. That's crazy.
Yeah, they've been around forever. Discouraged Ones from Catatonia.
Nice.
Power Trip from Monster Magnet. There you go. That's kind of funny.
Hell yeah. And Mr. Windorf, baby.
Sonny from Suffocation.
Love it. Took me forever to find that.
Angel Corpse, which is fantastic. I saw
God,
that tour.
fucking love that album.
Nightfall in Middle Earth, Blind Guardian. Shout out to Hansi.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and just show this. I won't stop on this record right here. I'm not done with this record. I just want to, this is not even in my top stuff here, but I want to point this record out. The record I'm about to mention is the only record that this band ever did that I liked. Everything else I think fails in comparison. I know that sounds really mean when you hear me say that because I got a lot of people that love this band, but in my opinion, this is the only good record they ever did, and that's Chaos Fear from the Sugar. It's the only good record they ever did.
It's a great album.
But that's it for me. That's the only record I could ever get into. Other shit's too goddamn slow and it's too progressive. I can't get into it.
Yeah.
I'm going to save that one. I've got some stuff I've saved here. Gore Metal from Exhumed. Shout out to Dr. Ross Sewage.
Love you
and
guys.
Matt Harvey.
Love you guys. Cheers.
Bolt Thrower's Mercenary album.
Shout out to old Carl Willits. Cheers to you, my friend, as well.
Diabolical Conquest from Incantations. Fantastic.
Cheers to John.
Apocalyptic Revelation from Crisian.
Cheers to you guys as well, and happy late birthday to Moises. Cheers, buddy.
Yep, cheers, bro. Words from the Exit Wound from Napalm Death.
Cheers to Shane and Barney.
What's Sent from the Great Hall, the only album that I really still like from Amon Amarth.
Hell yeah, it is a good album. It's great, actually.
Whisper Supremacy from Cryptopsy.
Fuck yeah.
Healing on Adrenaline from Dying Fetus.
Love it. That album's
The
brutal as
best
fuck.
Steve Tucker Morbid Angel album, Formula's Fatal to the Flesh.
That album fucking rips, dude. It really does. I can't complain.
Obscura from Grurguts, which is still a really strange listen, but very good.
Obscura, that fucking album. Holy shit, dude. it's
a weird record,
it's
though. It's
really
weird
good.
to it. It's very strange.
I really love that.
No, it's good. Sound of Perseverance, which is, in my opinion, the worst Death album, but it's still Chuck.
It is. With that. Oh yeah, that song, The Faceless Ones on Obscura, nasty, absolutely nasty. Anyway,
Amongst the Catacombs from Nile, their debut. It's a great album.
shout out to Carl, and even he's not with the band, but shout out to Dallas as well.
Gallery of Suicide from Corey's favorite band and his favorite guest on this podcast, George Fisher, Gallery of Suicide.
Honestly, I'll say this about him, okay? Gallery of Suicide is a very underrated Cannibal record. It's really good. It's heavy as balls, and it doesn't get really much credit with the rest of their stuff. I think it's better than Vile. I mean, it's a million miles an hour. It's fucking... that movie's fucking awesome. And I haven't peed on it in the urinal yet, so... It's a good album.
Okay, so we're getting to the best ofs here, kids. So, The Fine Art of Murder from Malevolent Creation.
Shout out to Phil.
Phil.
Cheers, buddy.
Our buddy. Obviously, Despise the Sun, back to the EP, Suffocation. It's great.
Took me so long to find that, but I finally have it, and one of my favorites. Love it.
And then I'm probably going to surprise some people with this, but my favorite album from that year...
Woo! Hang on, they just put the dog in the microwave? That is one of the most brutal things I've ever seen. Just a muck of fucking dog in the microwave. I forgot all about that scene. God damn, that's brutal. And then... Oh, this is the Dr. West classic we're witnessing. Somebody's getting fucking drowned in a fucking toilet bowl. That's funny. Anyway, sorry. Oh, no, he's putting Drano down his throat. Jesus fucking Christ. Woo!
I have a 5.
Damn.
3.
Hang on, wait, I got an ad too. Our ads are actually finally synced up. I got an ad too, like right now. That kill is so goddamn brutal.
You want to hear that? This is my favorite album of 98. Are you ready?
Yep.
Support Truth Against. If you don't like it, don't care. Derek, thank you for the interview.
That's a great Derek album. You know, I like most of Derek's stuff, and he's a great vocalist. And I think Against is one of the better ones too. That, like after all, you know, the Roots shit.
It's raunchy.
Is that the first Derek album?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I love that album. It's cool as fuck.
It's
brutal.
It
is brutal.
Fucking awesome.
And of course, still like Andreas and Paulo. I mean, it's still second.
I've been a fucking Sepultura fan since the late '80s. So if people don't like Sepultura Lab, you can jump off of a building.
I love Derek. I love Andreas, and Paulo is one of my favorite bass players ever.
You for making that happen, and Kristen and at Nuclear Blast, and man, that was a great interview. It's my favorite thing. It's still my favorite. One of my favorite things.
When do I unpause it, or is it unpause on yours? Do you have another ad, or are you good?
No, mine's going.
Okay, we got Reese here on the phone, and she's trying to figure shit out. I love her character in this so much, especially when I was little. I don't know why. I always thought she was really fucking cool in this movie. I was like, she's my little sheriff mama. She's gonna help me find the killer.
Hey, that's my favorite record of 98. It really is. I looked through that whole list, and I'm like, Against is my favorite thing that came out that year.
It's great. There's so much great death metal, Alex, that came out on 98, and the movies in 98 were great. And I gotta say, man, when I was growing up, I mean, at least around this time, it was good, man. I enjoyed it. I had a good childhood as far as movies and music, and you know, I grew up with the 80s stuff already being around, and like I was obsessed with the older shit because that was still on TV all the time, and all the old 80s stuff I'd get myself into, and renting stuff at Blockbuster, and educating myself just on basic appeal to stuff. And I've always liked older stuff, but the stuff around this time, you know, is special to me. And I think it's cool, you know, going back to this film even is very nostalgic for me, because I haven't seen it in a long time, and that's why I like to do this altering the future shit, too, because it's like you forget when all this stuff tied together and came out. It's like 98, it's like, you know, you had Zombie Apocalypse by Mortician out, Gallery of Suicide, and fucking, you know, Amongst the Catacombs, like the first Nile record came out then, and, you know, I didn't really get into Nile until like a year later.
I saw them opening for fucking Morbid Angel on the
it's amazing Formula tour. Yeah, and that I started listening to that kind of stuff like about a year later when I was in middle school, like my first year there. When I moved,
Canada, I saw them on Gallery. I saw that tour.
When I moved to upstate New York, close to Cannibal Country, about a couple hours. That's when I really started getting into actual death metal. You know, before that I was just into random shit, and but you know, I was very much into horror movies since I was like 5. So when this came out, it's just something I watched all the fucking time. And then when I got to be 9 years old, around 99, I was listening to, you know, some of the older death metal stuff, and I think Heretic was out around then. A lot of people hate that record. I actually like that record. It's good. The Morbid Angel.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's very nostalgic to watch this, and it's cool. You know, we do all the 80s stuff. We've done a lot of stuff before that, and you know, stuff you went to high school watching and going to theaters and seeing and shit. And this is actually cool to see this stuff once in a while, because I can actually.
I saw the Bad Boy in the theater. I got jacked off. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I mean, it's something I was actually alive to see and appreciate. Like for me growing up, so it's cool to once in a while do the 90s stuff, because I can actually be like, oh yeah, I saw this in theaters, or you know, it's cool, man. You know, to get to do this once in a while. I appreciate you being into this and doing this too. It's neat.
Sure.
My neck of the woods, folks. It's where the expertise usually lies with Dr. West the majority of the time on here. But you know, I know my shit, but I didn't live it. You know, I've had to live vicariously through. Just by enjoying the older shit and having you as a friend and colleague of mine, and you know.
It seemed like a good idea. I don't know why this just kind of stuck out to me immediately. Let's do this. This will be fun.
Yeah, and this is, like I said, so far
it's been a lot of fun. It's been a fun movie.
It's a solid slasher, and like I said, it doesn't. I don't know where the the critics originally thought it was like a Scream ripoff and it was like a satirical thing on urban legends. This movie is a serious film. You know, there's some humor to it here and there, but I mean that's just horror movies in general. There's got to be like a mix of emotions. But this movie is a serious film, whereas Scream is not a serious movie. You know, I mean it is in some parts of it. Like the kills are definitely brutal. Like I said, I know the Doctor's not a fan of Scream, but I love the Scream films, especially the first and second one. But the first, you know, the kills are great. I like the Ghostface thing, but it's got a lot more satirical elements to it that make it more of almost a comedy, but it's still more of a slasher film, I guess.
I mean, look, here's the whole thing, and you know, it's different being your age and growing up and watching Scream and liking it. But for me, that's the age I was when Scream came out. I found it offensive.
Yeah, and I understand that, you know, and I kind of feel that at the same time.
And it's not. You know, I had this discussion with Richard for a while back. And here's the thing: there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with you guys digging it or wearing shirts or like Ghostface rules or anything. There's nothing wrong with it. You have a nostalgia to it. I have no nostalgia to it. I went into it. I was like, wow, Wes is fucking broke. You know?
Yeah, and I totally see that.
You know, but I felt that about a lot of stuff. It wasn't just Scream. It was like, what's that other turd that Wes Craven presents Dracula AD or whatever that piece of shit was? And
oh, yeah.
What a fucking turd. You know, that movie was awful. But, you know, there's somebody out there, whatever that movie's called. I'm probably calling it by the wrong title, but whatever that movie is, you know, it's probably nostalgic to somebody, and they're probably like, man, fuck you, Dr. Wynn, that's fine, you know. If you don't have nostalgia with something, it's hard to defend something. If something is nostalgic to you, it becomes very personal. So.
Yeah. And that movie, you know, I get it, you know, it's very campy on purpose, and it is more of a comedy film. Like, I wouldn't rule it as a comedy. I think it's still a slasher, but, you know, it has a lot more comedic.
It's a cash grab to me, if we're talking about Scream still.
Is it? Cash grab. What is it, Vampire in Brooklyn? Is that what you're thinking of?
No. It's some kind of Wes Craven presents fucking Dracula. Dracula 2000, that's it. Dracula 2000.
I didn't know he produced that.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, after the Scream stuff, it's like cash grab.
It totally is. But, like I said, this film I don't think is comparable. I can see how they've...
And let me, and I want to defend that a second, because John was putting out good shit still.
Yeah.
Carpenter.
Yeah, like Vampires is solid.
I'm telling you, Wes became the fucking Richard Donner of horror. He just became a mockery of himself, and it's like, you know. I mean, I'm sorry, it's the fucking truth. Like, people want to get mad at me and attack me for not liking that stuff. It's like, I'm sorry. I think everybody's like, oh, there's going to be a new Scream movie. Who cares? I don't fucking give a shit. That's like you going, oh man, are you going to go see Pokemon 30 or Dragon Ball Z 90? No, because I didn't grow up with it. It's not my thing. Like, I'm just not into it.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not nostalgic to me, so I'm not into it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't grow up with it.
It makes sense. Well, I will say for this film, it doesn't... You can compare it to Scream because they came out around the same time. Obviously, the success of Scream was like, oh, let's make more slasher films because it's hitting again. So they made this film after the success of Scream because they know they can make money off of it.
But this doesn't feel like a parody movie to me.
No, this is a serious film. Like, it's kind of... It's a cool story. I love the director that did this because he went on and did, in 2001, he did Valentine. That movie is fucking awesome. I think it stands... It doesn't get enough credit, and I don't think this one does either. Like, the killer in this and the killer... And there's a... It says Greenwood. I think that's cool. It's... I don't know. I think the killer in this is really fucking cool. And there's Freddy Krueger. He's dead.
Is Jared Leto the fucking killer?
I am not telling you. That's part of the beauty of this film.
Dude, you don't understand. I literally do not even remember. The last time I saw this...
Oh, I remember. I remember vividly, like, as the movie goes on.
But I don't remember, because I've seen this movie one time in the theater on a date.
And you were getting whacked off. You don't even remember anything else. You were just...
I did, and after you get whacked off, you're just kind of like wanting to just kick it, you know?
Yeah, you just remember fucking buttering your popcorn. That's all you remember.
That is correct.
But
do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think... again, I'm not trying to be harsh about it. Like, if you're nostalgic about anything, that's great. And by no means the entire length of this podcast that we've done this, am I trying to discourage that. But you can't make someone nostalgic about something they're not.
yeah, it's impossible because you just don't understand.
Like, I can't make people nostalgic about thrashing. Thrashing is nostalgia to me, you know. So,
yeah. I get that. You know, and some people just don't understand that. And I get that too, but they're like, why don't you just watch it and you don't like it? It's like, well, I didn't grow up with it, so it's not something I'm like sensitive about or understand because it's not my thing, you know. But like I said, this film is just great, and I love. Again, we'll have to do Valentine sometime too because that movie's fucking badass, and I love the killer in that. It's a very Slaughter High kind of feel. Yeah,
and I saw that in the theater as well.
I did too.
But I had not seen that fucking thing until I had done. Oh shit! Is he the?
That is Julian... What's his name? Dude's in a ton of stuff.
Is he the killer?
I don't know, is he?
I don't know, man. I gotta be honest. I'm kind of on the edge of my seat with that because I don't remember.
That's why it's cool, this movie. I like it. Trying to see what other stuff he's in. Because he's one of those familiar faces where you're like, what the fuck's he in? He's in so much stuff. I know he's in Wrong Turn. He's in Supernatural. He's in Cube. He's in X-Men Last Stand. He's in Man of Steel. He's in Survival of the Dead. He's in The Witch. A shout out to Millie, who loves that movie. Saw 4.
Wait, that's the killer right there.
He's in Mimic. Todd and the Book of Pure Evil. That's a really funny show. He's in a lot more shit than that. I mean, that guy's all over the place. Julian Richings. We don't know if he's the killer yet. He's obviously a weird janitor.
They're being chased by the killer.
Yep. So he gets ruled out. And I guess, you know, the parallel to this and Scream 2 was that, you know, it's one of those mysterious, like, we don't know who the killer is kind of thing. But, you know, again, this did feed off the success of that film, but they don't really have too much similarities. It's just kind of 90s slasher. But I appreciate Scream for kind of revamping that genre at the time because it gave us films like this and a lot of other really good ones in the 90s.
No, I'm not. Look, but it did by default. Wes Craven wasn't trying to reboot the slasher genre.
No, he was just trying to cash in on the teen crowd and make money, which he did, and he was very successful with it.
He was cashing in on nostalgia. Is all he was doing.
Yeah.
Which is actually gross, I think. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I'll tell you a really interesting read, man, is... Well, it's not a read, it's a viewing, but John Carpenter did several of these horror documentary things where they interviewed him.
Yeah.
Man, he hates those movies as much as I do. And you know who else hates it? And I thought this fucking ruled. Romero fucking hated him. Stephen King hated him. And Stephen and John are my boys. And I'm just like, we were of a mindset. Again, this has nothing to do with you or wheelchair fucker. I'm just saying, but we were of a mindset. It's like you can't hoax us into this crap.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that.
Now you can do the double D dogs and love everything, but I'm talking about, you know, I can't do that. That's not me, you know. But then here's the thing. I'm totally open to watching the first Scream with you on here sometime. I'll do it. That's going to be a pretty brutal fucking, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pull any punches with it. I'll throw punches the whole time, but we can do it.
That would actually be kind of fun, just to have that. You know, we've never really done a film where you openly don't really care for, and then we do it. So, I mean, if you're wanting to do an episode like that, we'll do it.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to watch which one I would rather watch, the first one, you know? 'Cause
Yeah, the first one's the best one. I mean, the second one
I've only seen the first two, so...
The third one's the worst one.
And I'll be honest with you, I saw both of them theatrically, and I don't know how to describe this, it just never was really my thing. Like, I don't know.
Right, so there's not as much killing to it. It's a lot more just getting to know the characters and then being like, which one do you think it is? And then it's like, there's not much slasher in it. You know, the second one, there's a lot more slasher stuff. And the third one has a lot more slasher elements. But the third one is another one of those weird Wes Craven things where it's like, it's a movie about the movie inside the movie, and they're actors acting. It's just one of those. It's like the New Nightmare shit, and he did that with 3. And 3 is just so weird. And, you know, it had fucking Creed on the soundtrack. It's just fucking weird. But it was it's still a good film, but it's kind of too dragged out, and it just gets way too campy with what it does. Oh, damn. There's that dude. That dude probably got the worst death of the movie so far. I mean, he got fucking, you know, his face shoved in the toilet bowl, and then he got fucking Drano.
The obvious killer for this is Jared Leto, is it not?
Woo! There's him. I love this. This is a callback to like the fucking Jason movies right here, where you just have all the bodies rigged up for the last person to see. It's beautiful. It's a total.
I mean, am I wrong about that? Is it not just majorly pointing that it's Jared Leto at this point?
I mean, yeah, you know, it kind of does. Even this though, like I absolutely love it. I mean, it's probably a subtle nod to it, or maybe it's not. I don't know. But I think that's a very Jason Voorhees thing, Friday the 13th thing, if you will, where they got all the bodies of the victims rigged up to where you can, you know, the last person sees all of them. Which I thought Jared Leto got knocked off.
Wow.
Rebecca Gayheart. I'm going to turn this music, this volume up actually here. One of my favorite reveals, I think.
I had no idea it was her. That's crazy.
Hell yeah, baby. One of my favorite reveals in horror history. It makes her even hotter in this film, too. I'm just like, God, you fucking crazy bitch. Because this still shocks me. Like, even when I was little, I was like, what? It's a fucking chick? Fucking hacking everybody up? This is amazing.
Who the hell is Jared Leto?
Oh, Brenda, I think she has him hostage or something, or has him tied up somewhere, just to make her freak out, 'cause it's kind of like her boyfriend. If you remember in the beginning, you know, I don't know. You almost don't ever see it coming. I never did.
I guess you could say I'm a little nutty. Why? 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 Still haven't
That guy within that fucking slot looks like fucking Rob Schneider.
You know what thing? I've got a visual aid.
She's like, remember my boyfriend, Deuce Bigelow?
My boyfriend. The love of my life. Have you found the love of your life yet, Natalie?
His name's Deuce Bigelow.
He's a he-bitch man pimp.
Did ring any bells, Nat?
Dude, I'm not sure if I've heard him talk about that all the time. He's like, I'm not even gonna wash off your heat, pussy.
When you and your friends decide to have a little fun, you know, David and I are going to get married that summer, right after graduation. You didn't have enough money to buy me a ring yet, so get me this instead.
What's interesting about this, too, is how straight edge she is in Jawbreaker. She's like terrible.
Yeah.
It was your car, and you weren't there, Natalie. Now, tell me, you were having a little difficulty forgiving yourself, Natalie?
Right, real fast. I'm taking a whiz.
Alright. Doctor is stepping out to take a Dr. Whiz. It's actually, I saw one of your favorite movies on HBO the other day. The Whiz is on there. Pretty cool. Not The Whiz, the other one. The Whiz is that fucking musical bullshit. It's the one with Fred Savage. The Wizard. He's taking a piss, you can't hear me. I think it's The Wizard. The Fred Savage movie, he's obsessed with it. You hear me? There's the tools of the trade, folks. Yeah, I can take off the audio of the film, but Rebecca Gayheart being revealed as the killer in this, Old Betty, was really fucking cool. Blew my mind, makes her even hotter. And I always remember her for this role more than I do even Jawbreaker, a lot of our other famous films. But I think she's done horror conventions a couple times because of this movie, and I would Rebecca Gayheart. I'd fucking shit myself meeting her, and that's the print I would get. We'll get the Urban Legend. I might get a Jawbreaker one too, or maybe a poster sign, because I love that movie. It's weird that I do, but I always like Jawbreaker.
I think it's weird. It's a good movie.
It's a great movie. But this film, this ending where she gets revealed as her performance at the end of this always resonated with me and stayed with me. That's why I like this movie so much. You know, it's, I don't know. I always remember her, this whole scene, more than I do the rest of the film. Yeah, it's just so, it always stuck with me. It's great. What's that movie like with Fred Savage? Is it The Wizard?
Yes.
That's on HBO.
Yeah, it's so good.
Say when you're taking a whiz, I was trying to remember what the movie was. I was like, oh yeah, he's taking a wizard. He's taking a Fred Savage wizard.
It's such a good, that movie. Have you watched it? It's so good.
Yeah, it is good. I haven't seen it since it's been on HBO, but I need to watch it. It's on my queue. It's on my blue queue.
It's a feel-good, awesome movie.
I've seen it. It's been a while, though. But now that it's popped up on old HBO, I need to check it out. It's been a while. It's always such a dope in anatomy. Well, who cares? I don't know. This is good shit. I think if I start up a death metal band of my own, which I've been working on, just me all by myself, then I'm going to use quotes from movies like this, like 90s shit, instead of doing the 80s stuff. You know, the 80s stuff's been overdone in bands. You know, I think Morticians use pretty much every horror movie ever made in their shit. So I'd have to do something new. I'll just pull stuff from this movie, like that quote was badass right there. Here's old Reese coming back. I do love Reese. Again, I'm telling you, I'm getting one of those fucking police bomber jackets from all like the horror film shit. I already got a Haddonfield patch ready to go. Haddonfield Police or whatever. I'm gonna get one of those sick bomber jackets, the green ones with the. You got to get the ones with the. I've said this on another episode. I don't even care. I think it was the Monster Dog one. You got to get the black fucking fur. You can't just have the jacket. You gotta have
is he in on it with her, or is he not?
I don't remember that part. I thought he died. Or he got knocked off in that gas station. No, there he is. Here we go. We'll turn the audio up for this. Here's Jared Leto.
Really? Oh, yeah. I mean, I thought I was screwed after Natalie here fucked it up for me with the dean. This is just what I need. A few things, okay?
I'm listening.
Well, I need some details for my article. You know, about how Wexler did each one. Details only you could give me.
Would be great for your career. We would be so fucking hot to get involved.
And I'd be very grateful.
Interesting.
So why don't you give me the gun? I'll take care of the rest.
You're cute, Paul. But you're not that fucking cute. Now, which one?
She's crazy, motherfucker.
Do I kill first? Edie
And shout out to Ben from Fright Rags, because they put out an Urban Legend collection I thought was really fucking nice.
Yeah, they really?
Yeah, they had Urban Legend shirts. They were fucking awesome, too. I wish I would have got one. And bless him for the stuff that he does. And even, he does his new stuff every Wednesday. He's usually, on Wednesdays, they put out a pretty good reveal of stuff. And they got a new Ghostbusters line that's sick. Got some new socks. I'm wearing my Ghostbusters socks from the doctor that he got me. I'm wearing them. They're very comfortable. It's got the the No Ghost logo on them. They're very comfy. I'm wearing them all day. My early birthday present.
Yes, they were.
So thank you, sir. But yeah, he's been doing great stuff lately. He's got Lucio Fulci shirt coming out called Godfather of Gore, which he did one that I missed out on. Similar to that shirt, and it was a John Carpenter shirt, and it was really, really cool. So this one's very similar.
As a fan as I am, I did not like that shirt at all. I thought it was hideous looking.
I liked it. I would have never wore it as a shirt, but I liked it.
Because if you're going to put him, he doesn't need to be on any type of shirt or poster because he looks like the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah.
I love him, but he looks like the Crypt Keeper, and it's not attractive.
Yeah. I loved it because of the way they mashed up all those movies into one little thing. I thought it was cool. But I wouldn't wear it as a shirt.
I just couldn't get into it.
I would have put it on, like a... Honestly, would have used it as something else besides a shirt. Cut it out, use it as a poster. Something like that. Oh, shit. Bitch is not dead yet. Yeah, the Fulci one's really nice, but Fulci's a little easier to look at, I guess. He's got a very special look to him, Godfather of Gore. Love the Ghostbusters line. He's got some other stuff coming out. So check out frightrags.com and hit up old Ben for some good horror merch. The best merch, in my opinion, for horror stuff. Sad that we couldn't go to Cincinnati and see him again and Horror Hound, but hopefully when this shit clears up, we'll have some more conventions and Doctor and I can go terrorize people next year. It'll be a lot of fun. I miss going to that stuff, And shows, really. I didn't think I'd miss that, but really I do,
Absolutely.
It's fun, kind of everybody's had a break from it, so it'll be a lot better once it comes back, I think. It'll be a lot more fun. But especially horror conventions. Like, I've been going to those for years and years, like a lot. And this has been the longest I think haven't gone to one, so it's interesting. I really do miss it because it's a good weekend getaway to do that and meet celebrities never think I'd meet and shop for stuff, and it's a lot of fun. So excited for things to open back up when that happens. This is a weird crowd right here. We're a crowd of people.
She's my old roommate's cousin. And Brenda's a girl in that Noxzema commercial.
So she's not dead.
Look, does anybody here believe...
Yeah, she said Brenda in the Noxzema commercial. I think I read in one of the trivia things that I think Rebecca Gayheart was actually in one of those commercials. Like in real life.
Not at all. Okay, listen up.
And there she is.
This is how the story...
She's fucking gorgeous. And there's the blue ribbon thing. The urban legend where if you wear the blue ribbon, your head won't fall off or something. There's that. Urban legend, we will queue up the Tardy Brothers of Obituary to get you our final thoughts.
Final thoughts!
Final thoughts, Doctor.
You want to hear something funny? Jared Leto's quite a bit older than me.
Really?
Yes, he is. He's an old fart.
Well, go ahead with your final thoughts there, Doctor.
I saw this at the theater. I hadn't seen it since. It's extremely entertaining. It's fun. I don't get the screen comparisons by the people that reviewed it.
I don't either. I think people are just attacking it. Hell yeah. Very nostalgic.
I don't have anything else to say. Buy it. There's a really nice Screen Factory Blu-ray out of it. You should buy it. I have it, and I've never opened it.
Came out last year, I think. This is very nostalgic for me. I was 8 years old when this came out, so it's one of the few titles we've done where I was actually alive to be around the time when it was released. Always stuck with me, the ending. I always loved Rebecca Gayheart in it. I always loved the cast of this. I love the director. Ended up doing Valentine. I love that film, too. For a late 90s slasher, it sticks around with them, and I think this movie actually can go into the, when people look back on the 80s stuff, and then when we get older, I'm 30 now, so or about to be 30, so when us from the 90s get a little older, we can look back on this film and films like it and have it put in with the 80s stuff and the 70s stuff and be like, here's the 200 list of like the greatest blah blah. And it's not like the greatest film, don't get me wrong, but it should hold up in there with the other stuff as a slasher, I think, where it deserves credit for being a great, like something you should definitely watch as a slasher film. So I think as time goes by and things get more appreciated from these times, and even this wasn't critically acclaimed by like at all, or like it's a Scream ripoff. What I'm saying is this film, I think, down the road is going to catch on more. Like it'll become more of a cult slasher from like the late 90s, because that stuff still isn't really like there yet with people really catching on to it. So I think this film is going to be there eventually, and people will appreciate it years later. It's worth it. I think it's a great movie. It's fun. The cast is great. They didn't try hard like to really go anywhere. They just made a movie, and it was great. And it's good. Kills are inventive, and it's very brutal and visceral at times. The comedy in there is pretty subtle and fun. It doesn't make it into a satirical film like people said it did. And you got like Jared Leto and Alicia Witt. I mean, you got great actors in this movie. Daniel Harris, Robert Englund and Brad Dourif. And you got a lot of callbacks to the old school.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, you got a lot of callbacks to the old school shit. So I really appreciate this film, and it's cool to do it and to see it again. Yeah. Highly recommended. Get that Blu-ray from Scream Factory, or just watch it on the Tubi app. Hopefully you guys watched it with us and you feel the same way. And when we put this episode up, share your final thoughts if you want. Fuck it. Hit us up on Facebook. All that bullshit. We appreciate your guys' support throughout the years, and continue to support death metal and horror, and we'll be there. We'll be there for that, so thank you. And
check out the interview with Harley Flanagan. It's a really cool interview.
Yes.
Personal interview. A lot of stuff we talked about. There's going to be some stuff in that interview that doesn't make it to the final cut, thanks to the magic of Corey Gore-Price. So, it's a good thing, We're going to get it wrapped up and get it where we don't have to. Edit it too much, but it's a kind of an interview, and he's a really cool guy. Huge fan of the Best Wishes album ever since I was a kid. Age of Coral, of course, I like as well, but Best Wishes was my jam, and we got to talk a little bit about that, and it was really cool. And it's fun, man. We do track by track of that new album. There's a lot of tracks on that record.
Yeah, it's special to me. New York hardcore, love it. Love Harley. Excited the doctor did it, and it's a really good interview. In the Beginning by Cro-Mags comes out June 19th on A Rising Empire and Mission 2 Entertainment. You can listen to Final Test is out. It's a free MP3 if you subscribe over at gleam.io. You can listen to that track there for free right now. So I'm sure there's some other stuff online streaming before it comes out. But definitely check it out. Glad you guys stuck around and watched this with us, or listened to it, whatever the fuck you did, and then you're about to hear the interview now, Dr. West and Harley Flanagan, so thank you for sticking around. Buy the new Cro-Mags, help them out. We're still quarantining, a lot of people are still, I don't know if they're on lockdown, everyone's good, protest shit going on, all this crazy stuff, but just remember that horror and death metal will always be there, no matter how crazy the world is, and the doctor is always watching. So thank you all, and stay fucking gory.
And this is Dr. Vincent West, medical doctor with the FANTASM Podcast. And with me today is one of my heroes. Legend, doesn't even need any kind of introduction. I'm going to give him one anyway. Harley Flanagan from Cro-Mags. How you doing, man?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
Man, thank you for doing this. And we're going to be talking about In the Beginning, your new album that comes out in June 19th, actually. And excited to jump in track by track with you today and talk about the new album.
Alrighty.
Excellent. And the first track is Don't Give In.
Yes. Well, what do you want to know about it? You want to know about the writing of the song?
Anything you want to talk about each track, man. Anything that sounds good that you think we'd like to hear about.
All right. Well, okay. Well, when I started writing this album, obviously, I wanted to make sure that it really kind of captured everything that I feel were the best elements of what Cro-Mags has done musically throughout the years. So I wanted the first song to really, kick the door open, and the intro is, in my opinion, it's kind of similar to the We Gotta Know intro, although it's completely different notes, different riff, it has the same type of vibe, and for those of you who don't know, that's the first song off the first Cro-Mags album, so I really wanted to kind of bring it back to that beginning place, but then the rest of the song is altogether different. It's much faster, much more aggressive, and lyrically, it's I just try to be it's really try to be an inspirational song. It's like no matter how hard life gets, and we all know life gets hard. You just have to fight through it. That's really the gist of the song. I kind of wrote it after my friend Anthony Bourdain took his own life, and around that time, I also had close family members who were battling cancer. So the whole idea of not giving in and not giving up the fight was really in the front of my head. Wishing that Tony would have not given up, and watching these other people struggling through their battles, it was pretty intense. So all of that made it into the song,
It's a great opening track, and to have the feeling behind it there, it makes it even cooler, I think, for the listener as well. And then track 2 is Drag You Under.
Yes, Drag You Under. Okay, no matter how hard things get, you have to fight on. I mean, this is really a reoccurring message throughout this album. I mean, this is something that I've learned. For those of you who are not familiar, you might want to check out my book, because I've been through some things, and
it's a great book too. You guys definitely should check his book out. It's awesome.
Thank you. But my point is really just like when you're in that dark place where life seems like almost hopeless, you can't know what the future is going to bring. So you really have to fight through it. Like, I went through some really, really rough, bad times, and I'm in the best place in my life that I've ever been now. And if you would have told me that I would have ever gotten here, I wouldn't have believed it. So that's really, the main message of this record is to keep fighting.
That's great, man. I think especially with everything going on with the pandemic and everything, and it's I don't know, it's very inspirational, and then all the stuff behind with your life, it's just great, man. I love the record, man. It just keeps flowing. I love every track on it, and so we'll jump into track 3, No One's Victim.
No One's Victim. All right, well, we really are going track by track.
We are. I'm going track by track with you.
Yeah. Again, I hate to sound redundant, but it's like No One's Victim is about not being victim to your situation. It's about not being a victim to yourself, to the circumstances around you. Like, they don't define you. You can survive and make it through whatever madness. The only thing that's certain is death. Everything else is optional.
Right.
And your happiness doesn't depend on anybody else but you. So
I mean, you're exactly right. Yeah.
I mean, I've struggled a lot, and now, as a father, while my kids go through what they're going through, this is a life of it. This is like all my life of experience, really. I'm trying to pour it into this record, like musically, lyrically, that's what this whole record, that's why the title in the beginning,
Right.
I'm looking at where I started off and where I am now, and I'm really taking, inventory on my life, what I've done, and where I am, how lucky I am to be here.
Right. Right. Definitely. And then track 4, From the Grave.
From the Grave, yes. This song, I was honored to have Phil Campbell, the legendary guitarist from Motorhead, played slide guitar and lead guitar on this song.
Awesome.
That was just a huge honor because obviously Motorhead, has been a huge influence on me musically, and Lenny was a huge influence on me personally. I met Phil when the Cro-Mags toured with Motorhead in the 80s. I think it was like 87 or something.
That's awesome.
And, we stayed friends. And, I actually met Motorhead after their first U.S. show. And so, I have a history with those guys. So, it was a real honor for him to... I asked him, but like, oh yeah, you heard the song and you were totally into it. I was still blown away.
It can't get much cooler than that to have him play on the song.
Who the hell, wow. It's like, who else, who's next?
That's great. I didn't know that. That's fantastic. And then, yeah, it's killer. Track 5, No One's Coming.
Yeah, No One's Coming is like just a really wake up, like it's just like when you're up against the wall, man, you have to fight it yourself sometimes. I actually got this. I got the title and the inspiration. I was listening to these veterans talking, and this one guy was talking about being pinned down under enemy fire and being heavily outnumbered, and he knew they weren't getting any backup. And he looked at his friend and he said, "No one's coming. We're on our own." And that just resonated in such, it's such powerful words, and it's such a heavy realization. And it reminded me of so many situations in life when you really have to face life and death on your own. And,
right.
So I took that and I applied it to everything. It's not just that's not just like a combat situation. That's a life situation. Like, you may think other people are going to get you out of stuff, but at the end of the day, you come into this world by yourself, and that's how you're going out. So, you
Exactly. And then track 6, which I suffer from, PTSD.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, because I know that it can be difficult at times. A lot of people, I myself included, never really thought about PTSD. I sure didn't realize that I had it until my friend, Jocko Willing, Navy SEAL, he's the one who actually told me I did. And when a Navy SEAL was seen as much action as one tells you that you have post-traumatic stress disorder, you really have to think about it, because that's the guy who knows what he's talking about.
Amen.
And, so I started to really think about it, and I realized that it was really, that is the reason for a lot of the way I responded and reacted throughout my life, because of certain things that I witnessed and saw and had happened to me, things I did all above, you know. I feel like that's a big reason, a big part of the reason why I was so messed up on drugs and alcohol for so many years of my life, because I was basically trying to deal with myself, dealing with memories, dealing with anger, dealing with a lot of things, and until I came to terms with the fact that, wow, you know, this is why I am this way. I didn't realize that I'm not really like just an angry person. You know, I didn't realize that I'm not just, you know, that's not who I would be if not for the conditioning and the situations of this, you know, PTSD is very real. You don't have to be a veteran to suffer from it. You know, I have a lot of friends who are, you know, recovering gang members and ex-convicts and just people who have been life and been through madness. You don't have to even have to do that, you know.
Right.
And,
that's fantastic.
Right, I know that talking to people has helped me, and helping other people has helped me. So, for anybody out there who is struggling with, you know, PTSD or anything else, really, you know, suicidal thoughts, depression, all that stuff, I mean, I liken it to, you know, it's like, if you don't have the tools, if you don't, you may not be able to fix this. You know, you may need to talk to somebody who will give you some input or give you the tools you need, because it's not a way to live.
It's not.
Anyway.
And thank you for saying that. I'm not a military veteran myself either. I had a lot of traumatic stuff happen to me, and I'm just not. I'm seeing a therapist occasionally, and it's been great for me. And so yeah.
People should not be ashamed of you know, being or seeking help. That's not weakness. In fact, it takes a lot of strength to realize that you need it and to actually act on that. Because most people are too proud or too afraid or just unable. You know, and really, truly, I speak from you know, like I spend a lot of time up at night drinking myself to like oblivion just to try to get to sleep.
Same here.
You know.
I'm going to shoot you right into track 7. The PTSD thing was awesome, by the way. Thank you for sharing with me. It means a lot to me as a fan, and I know it will to our fans, and your fans that'll hear this. So track 7 is the final test.
Yes. All right. Well, obviously, I'm a big fan of big intros because there are several on this record. You know, and so this song starts off with a big intro and all kinds of leads and jazzy drum fills and madness, and then like all the sounds that you're hearing in the background, all the sirens and the street sounds. That's actually all the stuff I recorded on my phone. This whole record is full of samples that I recorded just walking around the city because I was really just trying to create atmosphere. You know, I just wanted. I guess that's kind of a little bit of Pink Floyd influence or something.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
But so with this song, the idea about it is the final test. You know, is are you at peace? You know, at the time of death.
Okay.
That's the last line in the song. Will you find peace as you draw your last breath? Because like I've been through you know, I've been on religious quests in my life. I've tried to find, you know, my path and so on and so forth. And at this point, you know, look, I'm in my 50s. and quite honestly, I'm more agnostic than anything, because I realize that I don't know.
Right.
And
right.
So I instead of pinning my faith on this or pinning, I think that you have to find peace in yourself while you're alive, and that is going to lead you to wherever you're going. You have to be at peace with yourself when you die. You can't be attached. You can't be afraid. You can't be, oh my God, you can't be worried about your unfinished business, you're this, you're that. You have to, that is the final test. Like, if you can exit this world comfortably without fear, that's, as far as I'm concerned, really, that's it,
Right.
Because that's what it's all about. That's what all these religions and meditations and everything are just preparing us to die gracefully, So, just dying without fear in your heart, it's a hard one. That's something we got to train for our whole lives,
I completely agree, man, and that's incredibly well said. And track 8, One Bad Decision.
Yeah, well, this one's pretty damn obvious. It's like one bad decision could ruin everything. Is the gist of this song,
right?
And it's like again, there's a little bit of parental advice going on here. It's like literally. I mean, you can take this in any direction. Whether it's like don't get in fights, don't cross the street without looking. It doesn't matter. You can apply this to anything.
Right.
One bad decision can literally ruin your life, the wrong girlfriend, you name it.
Oh, yeah.
Anything, like that's why you really have to think about what you do in life, because it's not just you. One bad decision could ruin other people's lives. One bad decision, you can be on your cell phone while you're driving and run somebody over. That
right.
bad decision costs somebody else their life.
Right.
So you start some crap with the wrong person, they come by, do a drive-by, and hit your friend. You just cost his life.
Right.
Whatever it is, it's like, so it's really just about taking responsibility and before you act, not after.
Right.
Before.
Exactly. And I love, I know we keep going, but I love where you've went with all this stuff. I mean, this actually, I find this record incredibly relatable.
Good. I'm hoping that a lot of people will, because, honestly, I think most hardcore bands, from what I see and gather, a lot of it's since the 90s or whatever, I don't know when, but it just seems like it's a lot of posturing and a lot of meaningless words. A lot of talk for the sake of talking. A lot of imagery and not a lot of substance. And I think it's, and I can be, you gotta, at some point, you gotta look back at your life and recognize the idiot that you were.
Yeah.
And the mistakes that you've made, and you gotta hold yourself accountable. And rather than, perpetuating that same dumb shit and passing it on to others like fucking Corona,
right.
You gotta pass the wisdom on. Like, this type of action is gonna lead to this. That's not what you want. So when and that's why I get really fed up with all this, like, fake gang bullshit in hardcore, and, and I also get kind of fed up and bored with all these, like, pseudo, like, wannabe religious hardcore, but it's like everybody's, I think, quite honestly, I think everybody's kind of full of shit, and everybody's just looking for attention and glory, so they think that if they wave this banner, it's going to gather followers, whether it's gather troops or gather disciples. It's the same bullshit. You got a bunch of insecure, fucking lonely people, and they're just holding on to the imagery of their youth instead of growing the fuck up.
Man, that is perfectly said. I 100% agree with you.
You know, I feel it's like, you know, I'm torn between being pissed off at them and feeling bad at them, for them, you know.
Right.
But when you pass that shit on, you know, it's like, again, man, for those of you, you know, who follow my Instagram and this and that, you know, I wrote about it the other day. It's like, you know, I had to stop for a second doing this podcast because my son called me, right? You know, I was like, you know, my son, you know, when you're young, you do a lot of stupid things. I don't live with my kid right now, and he's involved in some dumbness, and like his friend got killed in a drive-by the other day, and my son was with him, and it's like, you know,
it's awful.
You know, because he's in some gang business, and it's like real. You know, this stuff is real. The young kids are dying. You know, and when I got to listen to like all these posturing hardcore assholes talking about all their fake gang bullshit, I'm like, dude, fuck you, man. You know, my kid's out there getting shot at, and you're over here like using samples of guns on your record. Like, fuck you. Like,
right.
You know, if you were, you know, yeah, if you were really tough, you'd be fighting in a cage for a living.
There you go.
Or you'd be off like fighting ISIS or some shit.
Right.
You wouldn't be like, you wouldn't be bullying people at hardcore shows, and you wouldn't be using intimidation to fuck with people and like bragging about dealing drugs and shooting people. It's just, it's not fucking cool, man.
No, it's not at all.
And when you have a kid who's wrapped up in it, it starts to, you know, the shit is real, you know, and all the motherfuckers endorsing that shit should really be ashamed, and they really should, like, snap the fuck out of it. And if they are real thugs, and if they really have lived that life, they should be using that knowledge to educate other people instead of pulling them down the fucking toilet with them, you know?
Exactly, man. I 100% agree with you. Incredibly well said.
Yeah.
And then I'll jump back with the record with you, Harley. So track 9, 2 hours.
Well, you know, it's ironic that we're talking about this because the song 2 hours, I came up with it after I almost got in a fight on the subway. I was with my kids, and I was heading home, and I almost got in a fight with these two guys. And you know, for those of you who don't know, I mean, you know, I'm a second-degree black belt, and I've had, you know, quite a few fights in my life. I'm no slouch. You know, I also know things can go wrong real easy, and you know, so these guys are, you know, I'm about to get into it. I'm like looking at the sky. I'm already targeting where I'm going to punch him in his throat, and how I'm going to throw this guy in front of onto the third rail or whatever. And he's going out of the tracks. That's where he's going. I'm already, and then it just hit me. I'm like, where do you want to be in 2 hours? It was like a voice in my head, and I'm thinking all of a sudden, all the scenarios ran through my head, like in an instance, like me explaining to a cop what happened while I'm being handcuffed, my kids being taken away from me while I've got to call their mom and this and that, and just drama. And I'm like, do I want to deal with this shit, or do I want to be home? Like, do I want to get my kids home safely? So I just looked at the guys, and I'm like, you know what, dude, like, it's all good, man. I'm just trying to get home. I got no problem. And he's all like, yeah, that's right, motherfucker. You don't want to get fucked up in front of your kids, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, meanwhile, my kids are looking at me like, you know, we got on the train, and they were looking at me like, what the fuck just happened? Like,
right.
You know, Dad don't play, but what just happened? And, like, I'm like, guys, you know what? What's more important? You know, us getting home, having dinner, and having a relaxed night, and going to bed, or getting arrested for fucking these guys up, even though that's exactly what they deserved and had coming. I think it's to get home, right? And so that's what that song is about. And you know, where do you want to be in 2 hours? And I didn't even have lyrics when I did this track. I just knew I had the lyric, where do you want to be in 2 hours? The chorus, the rest of it, I just made up. I didn't have to make it up. I literally
lived it.
Told the story. Yeah, and then I just relived another little moment of. I remember sitting in a cell thinking to myself, what the fuck did I do? And you know, I've been in cells going, why did I let myself get into this? And you know, there comes a point in life when you have to that it can incur. So that's
exactly. That's wild. Every song just has this amazing story behind it. I love it.
Like at my job, like all the Muay Thai guys, like, because I teach jiu-jitsu for a living.
Oh, okay.
Like a massive school. I work for Enzo Gracie at the Enzo Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Academy. I've been with him since '96, and so I know a lot of fighters and stuff, and they're always telling me, man, I almost got into it with this guy, and I was thinking about what you said, and I'm like, where do you want to be in 2 hours? And you know what, Harley, you're like a guardian angel. I would have never thought that you'd be a guardian angel. It's really kind of funny.
Hey, man, I think it's great, man. I mean, and you're teaching from stuff you've learned. It's fantastic.
Yeah, well, that's what you got to do in life. You got to pay it forward,
Man, I it's very inspirational. And then track 10, Don't Talk About It.
Yeah, well, Don't Talk About It. For those of you who don't know, some stuff went down with me in 2012. It's in my book. I got set up by some ex-friends, some drama and blah, 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 and I got jumped by like 5-6 guys, and I put 3 of them in the hospital, and I wound up getting like 40-something stitches, and I got arrested.
Oh my God.
It was just a lot of, it was a lot of drama, and since then, because these guys are all like gangbanger wannabes and shit. So
sure.
Since then, there's been a lot of talk and a lot of people making threats and this and that, and da-da-da-da-da. And so this song was kind of about that, loosely about that, and just in general about people who talk shit and don't really follow through, because you know what? I don't hide since that happened. Everybody knows where I work. Everybody knows where I live. So again, I'm just a guy, man. But I'm a man. I'm not. I don't need 20 dudes to have one set of balls. I got my own, and I don't hide.
Yeah, I mean, that's like I said. Y'all definitely have to check out his book. I mean, it was
a bad situation, but you know what? Like I said earlier in the show, like, I'm in a great place in life right now, and 2012, I was like in hell, and to be where I am now in itself is is some sort of miracle and proof that life is good if you just weather the storm. Well,
I'm happy to hear that for you, man. I think you deserve it.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Oh yeah, and so track 11 is going to be Between Wars.
Yeah, actually, this is part of the soundtrack in a movie that I was just in with Michael Imperioli that you can actually get on. It's up on Vimeo. The movie's called Between Wars, and the song's an instrumental, and actually it's definitely the only song on any hardcore type of album that has cellos. I brought this guy, and it's an instrumental track. It's got a almost like a waltz type of time signature, it's not
right.
So like it's got this interesting vibe to it already. I would see this guy playing in the subway every day on my way to work, and his playing is just beautiful, but the guy is really interesting because he's like this, this young, well, not young, early 40s, young, I say young, other people that's old, eh? I'm like, this young black dude with like tattoos on his face and braids, and he looks pretty, pretty gang-banged out, pretty bugged out, and he's sitting there playing the cello and just playing beautifully, and it's interesting, so it's like, okay. And anyway, I asked him, I said, I'd like to put you on this track. We started talking, blah, blah, blah. It turns out my man is, he's an ex-blood, recruited into the Bloods when he was like a little kid, like 8 or 9 years old.
Oh, wow.
They were using him to, like, you know, run drugs and stuff because he was a kid, so he wouldn't get stopped and shit. And, you know, we've become pretty good friends. And again, this is a dude with, you know, some serious PTSD. I mean, he did like 7 or 8 years in jail, and, you know, he's been shot like multiple times. He's had a rough life. And, you know, here he is, he's just trying to basically, you know, survive now making music instead of doing the shit he was doing before.
Right.
And so, you know, me and him, you know, we've actually helped each other a lot, you know, just emotionally, you know, talking about things we've been through and you know, just talking about our kids and, you know, and so anyway, yeah, you know, us playing together was very meaningful. He'd never been in a recording studio before, so
that's awesome.
It's really kind of special, you know. I captured something unique and special there.
I think so. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, this dude just, you know, I mean, just for those who know, I mean, this dude was you know, Pyru blood out in Newark, New Jersey, man, and that's no joke, you know.
That's great. You guys can, like, you know, like living the aftermath together. It's cool, man. You guys made a song together. I think it's fantastic.
You know, again, it's like I got a lot of friends who've been through some things, man. It's like, you know, these youngsters don't know it, man. You know, this stuff scars you deep, man, and you may not realize it or feel it till later in life. But, you know, I know a lot of people who do a lot of self-medicating just to deal with the memories that haunt them, and it's not anything that anybody should have to go through. And if you are going through it, you know, you got to recognize the reasons and the cause, and you know, people will do unusual things in unusual circumstances. You know?
Exactly. So we're at No Turning Back, track 12.
Okay, so No Turning Back. This song, let me see, what is there about this song that's interesting? First thing, I guess, is there's a bunch of little kids singing on it, and actually those little kids are all my students at the Hensel Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Academy in the kids program that I actually run.
Awesome.
So that's about a group of I teach about 30 kids or something, but that's about 15 of them, all between 6 and 11. And it was funny because that day it was mostly girls in the class. So I have that is just, I think, kind of cute and funny, and
it's cool.
And it's cool because the line that they're singing is "There's no turning back," and really there isn't any. And the fact that I got a bunch of little kids singing that is like great, you know, because, you know, it's just perfect, you know.
It is.
You never go back to being a kid again, you know.
No.
And, you never go back. And I guess that's all I really got to say about that.
Okay. Well, we'll hop on to the last track 13. There was a time.
There was a time is well, musically, you know, this record kind of I really tried to encompass everything that the Cro-Mags are about. Like I tried to really capture all the best elements and recreate them in a different way in a whole new, you know, new songs, but the same feeling musically. So this song, you know, it goes through like a whole, you know, there's a lot of different directions throughout the record, but it maintains that Cro-Mags sound. That was my intention. And then this song really brings it back home to that old school chemistry, the formula that I've always used, you know. And the song is really, it's about losing everything. It's about losing what you believe in and everything that you thought you knew, and still somehow finding the ability to keep going. It's about finding inner strength, you know. It's like when you lose your faith in whatever it is that you believe in, you know, the people you love, the God you think you believe in, whatever it is, you know, it's that moment when you realize that, you know, I have to do this. You know, I don't know what's real, but I have to find the strength regardless. This is not up to them. It's not up to this. It's not up to that. It's up to me.
Right.
And, you know, I think people have to do that. You know, people get too comfortable. They get, you know, that's why as much as all this corona situation really sucks, you know, people got to realize how fragile everything is, you know, how fragile life is, how fragile society and the world we live in. You know, it doesn't take much for everything to go way wrong, and we got to be able and willing to handle it. You know?
I 100% agree with you, man. It's and the whole album, man, just seems like a trip through your life. I can't thank you enough for all the stories about these songs, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me, and the record. The record is just, it's so cool, man. And I want to ask you just a couple more things, if it's okay. Are you guys, were you planning to do some touring stuff before all this bullshit happened? Maybe next year?
Yeah, you know, we had a whole bunch of festivals lined up, mostly in Europe. We had a tour for Japan. I mean, we had a lot of stuff. We had U.S. shows lined up, but the good news is that everything is being rescheduled, and so next year is going to be a really busy year. You know, like everything we didn't get to do this year, plus everything we were already planning on doing next year. And I've also, like, during this quarantine, I've written pretty much like the next 2 albums.
Awesome.
Dude, I've got like 60 pieces of music in the bag already. So
excellent.
We're going to try to record sooner than later. We're actually scheduling recording now because I want to have my next record ready so that when next year comes around, we don't have to take any time off to write or record anything. So once we start gigging, I just want to keep the machine going.
You got it in the bag.
Done. Yeah, you know.
That's fantastic, man. Well, if you make it down to the Atlanta ways, I'd love to hang out with you, man.
Hell yeah, man.
We can sit down and do another fun interview. Seriously, this has been absolutely incredible. I can't thank you enough for your time and your words on this stuff, man. And the album, it comes out June 19th, guys. Check it out. In the Beginning from Cro-Mags. Harley Flanagan, you're a legend, man. You're literally one of my heroes. And I've got, if I don't ask you this, I'm going to kick myself for the rest of my life. I love Best Wishes.
You better ask.
I love the Best Wishes album. Do you have anything cool you can tell me about that album? Because I love that record.
There's a lot of stories about that session. I can tell you that I recently saw Petey Hines, the drummer from back then, when I was out on tour with the Misfits, and I hadn't seen him in a lot of years, and it was so great to see him. It was really cool, and the recording studio was allegedly haunted. And, well, I don't want to say allegedly because some really weird stuff happened that was definitely supernatural when we were there. And it really freaked my drummer out, like, bad. So, like, he pretty much blasted all his drum tracks out in, like, the first day and got the hell out of there because he was, like, I think he spent, like, 1 or 2 nights. We were sleeping at the studio, and it was, like, every night, like, crazy shit would happen. So naturally, we all started fucking with Petey, like a little extra, you know. It was funny, but you know, that's really all I can think of off the top of my head is like, like crazy shit, like things, dishes flying out of the sink, like and hitting the floor while nobody's in the kitchen, shit, like.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like fucked up shit, like. So it was like. And every one of us saw or experienced something. And even guys who were like, you know, like even Paris was like a non-believer in anything. You know, he's like a total skeptic, doesn't believe in jack shit. And even he had a couple moments that like made him fucking almost, you know, shit his drawers and piss down his bed. So, yeah, it was a Normandy Sound, Rhode Island, very haunted.
Man, the one and only has the best fucking riff. To this day, I can get through anything listening to that riff. Man, that riff is just like.
Thank you, man.
It's fucking crushing.
Funny, the main riff to that song was inspired by a riff that actually sounds nothing like the song. Perfect Strangers by Deep Purple.
Oh, I love that song. That's my favorite Deep Purple song.
But if you notice, they don't sound anything alike. But the Deep Purple riff that's like, gon' get it in, gon' get it in, get it in, gon' get it in, get it in, get it in,
yep.
get it in, kind of inspired the.
Oh man, it's such a. It's so good.
It doesn't sound anything alike, but you know, when I'm inspired by something, I'm never gonna fucking like cop the riff. I will take the inspiration and I'll just do something else with it.
Oh sure.
You know, that's how you create music, and you know, a lot of bands out there will just steal riffs and play them backwards. I actually, I just take the inspiration and do my own thing. You know.
Well, I'm telling you, to this day, I've still got my original Profile Records CD that I bought at a fucking record bar.
You know what? That's actually last thing I will say. That's also Glenn Danzig's favorite Cro-Mags song.
I did not know that.
Well, there you go.
That's fucking amazing. Hey, man, I can't thank you enough for doing this, man. This has been awesome. In the Beginning, Cro-Mags comes out June 19th. Check it out. Go see these guys. Man, I fucking love this.
Yeah, come see us next year. You ain't going to see us this year, but pick up the record. By the time we roll through, you'll know it. So.
Yeah, they'll know it. Brother, thank you so much for this. Seriously, have a great Memorial Day. Good luck with everything with you. And man, I hope to see you down south sometime next year.
Right on.